Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hi, we're just dancing here.
I know.
By MU Music.
Nice to have you guys in here. How you doing today?
Hello, everybody, new and old.
Look at that. Just a dude. Hello, I'm sent here by Mathew. Yeah. Oh, that is awesome. What a great mix to see all returning and new people in here.
A special thank you and special welcome to all the Matthews fans.
Yes.
Fox in Space, everybody who loves Matt. Thank you so much for joining us here. I'm sure you're excited and can't wait for the interview.
He's such an amazing guy. This is going to be a great chat. You can feel it in the bones, and there's a really good one.
But guys, you know that already,
yes,
guys.
That's right.
Those of you who are the fans, but for our fans that maybe don't know who is Matt, this is going to be a great discovery.
Definitely.
Something really amazing, unique, and original. We always try to bring you guys creators that are unique and one of a kind and that have a huge story to tell. So hope you enjoy that.
This is going to have everything from animation. The style of animation is fantastic. He's got a huge fan base, as you can see.
Yes.
And puppetry, building his own. Like, that is so cool. And I think we're going to have a special guest with him tonight.
Yes, and by the way, guys, did you know that original music for Fox in Space is created by him as well? It is amazing. Like this Man has ultimate multi-talents. And guys, if you don't know, just in case what we're talking about, the link to the first episode is down below in the description, as well as a link to the music tracks and all the social media, so you can go and check it out while we are having our startup chit-chat before we invite our guest in.
Man, I gotta say, I think we broke a record for the right in out of the gate. We had 136 people in here. The max we've ever had was 165.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had that coming into the show like right off the get-go, as far as I remember.
I don't think so. Yeah, it probably was around 100 or something like that, but definitely not for the guest stream. So this is a first, and thank you so much for all of that. If you're new to our channel, you probably are confused about all the blue wrenches and what's going on and why do I have a blue wrench now? I didn't ask for it. Well, in here, we are for equality. Everybody has a blue wrench because it is not status, it is philosophy here.
That's right.
So we all can police each other, so to say. So be nice to each other and welcome to our channel.
Hope you guys feel welcomed. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Also, since a lot of you are new here, we are a husband and wife team from Montreal. I'm originally from Eastern Quebec. Xenia is from Latvia. We met on a video game years ago called Second Life, back in the early 2000s. We've had a Viking wedding in Iceland. We like to do our own thing. We have 3 kids, ages ranging from 20 to 7. We do videography and cinematography, videography, photography here in Montreal. And you can see some of our work as well that we've done in there. Most of our clients' work we do not post, but there is always a few little things. It's Blue Wrench Anarchy. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Could be that too.
That's right.
You can see all of our work, the video, cinematic edited videos in the playlist. Also, our season 1 of Tube Talks, our interviews, and season 2. This is our 13th interview this season. So all the previous one you can see in the playlist as well.
Yeah.
Our Tech Talk Tuesdays that we have every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and shout out game as well. All of that information, the schedule is in the about section, all the playlists in the homepage. It's all there, all available. And yes, we're here 6 times a week from Sunday to Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, except for Thursdays at 1 p.m. So we're always here and always available.
Even, not sure how I pronounce it, Zaire7. I'm probably way off. My apologies. That's lurking with the eyes. You even get a wrench as well, and great to have you here.
Yeah, everybody has a wrench, guys.
That's right. Wrenches for all. Wrenches for all. I don't know if you guys would be interested. We have a thing going here. We're going to have our guest out in just a few moments. We like to work and get to meet you guys. Have no fear. We're going to have a big chat tonight. I guarantee you that. Hawkeye Station Paranormal, welcome. Great to have you in here. I'm going to say hi to everybody in a minute. I'm going to go through the roll call.
Ooh, that's going to be major.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. You'll get to hear me mess up a lot of people's names, but no, I do it out of love. And in the meantime, maybe we could do a selfie?
Yes, of course, guys. We have a tradition here. People do selfies. That's right. That's a way to see each other. Hashtag Blue Wrench Group. What we do here is take a selfie of yourself or a selfie of you watching our live stream, or just get creative with it and post a picture on social media with a hashtag Blue Wrench Group. And if it's on Twitter, we're going to be showing it off during the show on the screen for everybody to see and for us to connect with each other. That's a great way. If you click on hashtag Blue Wrench Group on Twitter, you're going to see the previous posts. It's always a good way of meeting each other beyond words as well.
No problem, Dragon Laughter, and it will be coming up in a couple of minutes. As I say, you'll meet a lot of people here. Our mission with our live streams, interviews as well as our shout outs and all those things together is to bring all the communities together. You guys all have a peer group and you're very dedicated to it. You know it better than anybody else. Your friends, your collaborators, you grow from each other, learn. And this is a great way to meet people from other communities. There's no membership. I always say no Costco membership, no nothing like that. It's just a great way to network and maybe find some people that are interested in what you do and vice versa. You'll notice nobody's asking for subs. Instead, they go and check you out and show you some love. Benji, yay, a wrench. You don't have one yet, but you're going to have one. There you go. There you go. I love Matt's take on Star Fox Universe, the Temple Flower.
Yes, we're excited to hear more about that as well. It's going to be interesting. I also want to know more about him before this.
Yes.
What led to this story? for the creator on the rise, as I called him, or animator on the rise. What led to this? What inspired him before? Also, I would like to touch up on Marvel and a recent passing of Stan Lee. I'm sure he would like to say some words about that. So there's so many things to discuss, but don't worry, we're going to bring him in just a couple of minutes. We have our housekeeping as usual. So let's do a roll call.
Sounds good. I want to shout you guys out.
This is your time to like and share and put your selfie up there. And if you haven't followed us just yet, just put that subscribe button up there. Or we have that neat little button down below in the corner of the video that pops up and you subscribe from right there.
So good to have all you guys in here. As our tradition, we're going to put on the echo, so at least when I make a real bad mess of somebody's name, they can have a little laugh as they correct me later phonetically for what I did wrong. And know, please, that I do it completely out of love. We have Xeon, Zaire7, Udron, Zeovox. I'm so worried I'm pronouncing.
Now this is a time where everybody's laughing about how he's pronouncing it. I hope so.
Yes, so feel free. Weekend Warrior Outdoors. Today's special minis: the Wild Challenger 101, the Templar 5, Teslux, Stacy Morgan, Silver Gullbat, Release the Lens, Roslam Videos, Pusa Studios. Not quite sure who they are. Pod. Pepe the Impanzi. Oh my god, I love that. Patrick D. Patricia Sprinkles. Nerdy Equinox. Mummy Shelley. Mukbang Sisters. MU Free Music for your videos, who you can hear playing tonight. You can check him out. Tons of great music for your videos. So good to have you. Miss Rider, Mike Dietrich. Mida. Megan's Blogs from China. Hey, sweetie. Mecat 280. MC Lockdown, who is, I got to mention him especially. MC Lockdown, you know what to do. Say hi with some emojis. He's just invented a patent that's going to work on doors to help prevent in-school shootings. So please show some love for MC Lockdown. This is something I'm sure we can all stand behind. Maverick626, Leonard Shea, Idiot of the Day, I'm Fox the Fox, Hawkeye Station Paranormal, Harry Bishop, Gloomy Souls, Chili Guy, Gabriel Z, Fifra, Drawings for You, Dragon Laughter, Disney World Adventures, Dragon of Time, D Family Vlogs, Citrus, Karen Sommers, Bottle the Bandit, Benji, Barrel Boys Woods, Badger Farm Girl, AU Pack Meal, Atlantis Paranormal, Art of Morbid, Animaflex Animation, Alex Lewin, Alex C, ADH Productions, and if I've missed any one of you, please say hi. I see Sunny in there. Welcome, Sunny. Let's get you a wrench. There you go. Don't want you going around without.
The Ruski one as well. Already got him too.
Perfect. Frost we got in here.
Leonard Shea, Nerdy Equinox, Animaflex, of course, Animations is very excited too.
PSFL Paranormal.
AU Pack Mule.
Caleb is in here. Welcome. Little Llama Laura.
Lyra's a Black Cloud. Well, everybody, hello and welcome. And if you're new to our channel...
Let's take the echo off there. That'll be easier on people's ears.
If you're new to our channel, welcome. And of course, hello to everybody who's listening to us on their headphones. If you can say hi in the chat, please do. But if you can, that's okay too. And I hope you enjoy your evening with us this Wednesday night.
Wow, some great... I always love these names.
Or Thursday morning.
You guys make me jealous. Our name is based... Xenia, as I said, is from Latvia. And the name of our channel is also our business name is Pusa Studios. Once again, we do video photography here in Montreal, Canada. And she's originally from Latvia, and that was the town where her mom grew up, about 40 kilometers from the Russian border. So we named it after her in honor of her.
So if you hear a slight accent on this side of the screen, that means that's because I am coming from Northeastern Europe. And for those of you in the rest of the world, if you hear a slight accent right there, that's because my man is from Canada. And we are in Canada right now. We're in Montreal, by the way, which... It has been a booming animation and graphic design city for a couple of decades already. It's really booming here. There's lots of new
Video game,
video
medical,
games made here.
Yep. Web advancements.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So we're very close to heart
Yep.
about this.
Who is it here? Stormblood said heart wrench time. I love that. Thank you so much. Canada. Hashtag Canada is awesome. Are you from Canada? I'm so worried about mispronouncing your name. Maybe Xenia can do it better.
Well, I can mispronounce because everybody mispronounces my name. Vox.
Vox. I like that. That's what I figured you'd give it the Eastern European
Yeah,
spin.
of course.
I like that. That's why. Are you from Canada or in Canada? Milan, just
Milan
beside
is just
you.
beside us as well. Well, guys, welcome.
Yes.
Canada. We're always welcoming people from everywhere, but of course, especially from Canada. And oh my God, if you happen to be from Latvia or Eastern Europe, even that would be very close to heart as well. Little Laura, hello. Just sent your selfie. Yes, we're definitely going to be looking at the selfies just before we invite our guest over. So don't go anywhere. Matt is coming just in a couple of minutes.
Rigby 669, welcome. We're gonna have our guest on just a few minutes, I should say. We always start off our show this way, give everybody a chance to come in and get to know everybody. There's channels from all over. You're gonna meet them. Every kind of pastime, every kind of interest, every kind of trade, art you can think of is hanging in here. I hope you guys all get to know each other. It's a great way to grow, and you never know who is your next favorite channel is going to be, your next favorite artist, your next collaborator, and it's great to get outside the box and meet new people from all different things. I'm from South Canada. That counts right, Alex C said. You got it. You got it. So we're all under one roof. That's what I love about YouTube. No passports, no borders, all under one roof as being YouTubers, creators, human beings. We all got that in common. Everybody has their message. Everybody has their view. And I'm proud to be associated with each and every one of you guys.
Alamas has most of their family living in British Columbia. It is a lovely place. Very lovely. The Rockies especially. Beautiful place. Sweet Home, Alabama. Awesome.
Love it.
And 90% of Canadians are from South Canada. Well, very true, as most of Canadians do live around along the border, so to say, I think. 75% or so. So definitely Sweden. Hey. Well, that's closer to my home.
Yes.
Have been there. Sweden. Yes, we went. One of the locations in our honeymoon was Sweden as well.
That's right.
Love Sweden too. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to everybody who's just joining us. If you're wondering what is going on, we're just doing a little bit of housekeeping before we invite our guest in. We just did a roll call. Shouted out everybody who's just joining in, so say hi if we didn't mention you. And we're going to be looking at Blue Ridge Group after a while. So keep posting.
We got so many people in. We got to bring the guests in a little quicker
so
tonight,
keep posting your pictures. Blue Ridge Group. Post your selfie on the social media, and if it's on Twitter,
if you have merch, artwork, anything you want to show off, it's a great place. Lots of people are checking it out, using that hashtag. A great way to be seen. It's a perfect place to promote yourself. So
yes, it is. That's right. So if you have your T-shirt, don't put it on. If
right.
you want to draw something and put your art out there, do that too. Everyone has a wrench, and TJ has it now as well.
Good.
So welcome.
Also, hope, guys, you can, if you're interested tonight, we do channel shout-out nights. We play them as a game. We get wheels. We get a lot of people into it and a lot of different groups. We also have interview nights. We also have Tech Talk Tuesday, which is 3 hours of just a think tank of everything YouTube. People are bringing questions from all levels. We're all answering together, figuring things out. Marketing, strategies, shooting, collaborations, all those things. So I hope you guys can get to check out a little more of what we do. And any friend of Matthew's is automatically a friend of ours. So
yeah, and our community here that have been coming is very welcoming and friendly. So don't fear nothing. There is no drama. It is drama-free channel.
That's right.
We're very friendly and welcoming, and leave all the bad things behind outside the door when we come in here. Just hang out and have a good time.
Music X cover. How's everybody's day? Doing great. How's your day today? I hope you're doing well.
It kitten. Hello.
I love it. I love it. Hillbilly Pyro. Good to see you. How you doing tonight? Welcome. Oh, you guys are in for a treat. The ones that don't know Matthew, you guys are going to be blown away. And the ones that do know Matthew, we're going to try and get lots of tidbits out that maybe you haven't heard about before. No, we're not Oprah. We don't make people cry. We just like to talk. But we believe there's so many layers to people, and that's the whole thing is to get to know somebody a little bit better so everybody follows you better, connects with you better. And Matthew's got so many amazing tales. He was actually worried today on Twitch about because I just don't know quite what I'm going to be able to talk about me for that long. I'm like, I don't know if we can fit it all in.
You know, the biggest creators usually are the most humble people.
Yes.
You know.
My God, we're going towards breaking a record, guys, for the most people ever in here at
Yes,
one time.
guys. Do you want to see us breaking a record? Share this
Yes,
stream
if you can,
out.
please. Wow,
Tell
guys.
your friends.
I'd love to
Let's
break
hit
a
the
record with you
records.
guys. What a great gift to Matthew to say he broke the record on this.
That's right.
And we also got to say a big thanks to Doug Tenaple. Tenaple. Sorry, I love him with all my heart. He was the one who once again connected us. We met on a live stream together on Matthew, and he is just awesome. He's been so good to us and seen the value in what we do and with him as well. So I just definitely want to say thank you to him. I know he's spending time with his family right now. He's really busy.
Oh, yeah.
But just wanted to throw that out there. So
yeah, thank you. We have interviews 3 times a week besides other content that we're providing. So next interview is going to be coming up on Friday.
That's right.
With our amazing gamer, Rakehead.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
guys.
so that's going to be an amazing night as well. That's Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Ray Kit's in the house. There's Ray Kit. You want to check him out before he comes on? There
you were
he is.
right on time. How did you know your cue? Yes. So tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, shout out game night. That's fun. We spin the wheel and put the channel out there, give a little review, and everybody's checking it out. And Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Well, schedule is in our About section, so I'm going to stop talking about
Lots of new artists in here. It's a great way to get your work seen, get a lot of new people looking at it. We've had people, I think the most we ever had was one person got almost 75. So, are you okay?
I'm okay. Almost spilled coffee,
You
but
forgot the
fine.
mic was there, didn't you?
I did.
You okay?
Well, I'm so excited, you know.
I guess. I believe you.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. So, if anybody, ours and stuff like that, it's a great way to get more of your work seen and stuff like that, to get tips from other people, find other channels you might be interested into. Everybody's very friendly. It's a very respectful place. We spin the wheel. We get a decent amount of channels up. And you just meet lots of people in the chat. That's what's really cool about it. It's like a business luncheon, you know.
Well, it's all available in our playlist as well, so you can go and check it out and have a feel of how is it going. And as I said, our schedule is in our About section.
There's a lot of music. We get a little goofy with it, but you know what? That makes the world go around. So, Cardoso, you retweeted it. Thank you so much.
We do
guys.
appreciate that. The more people can see it, the more people can join us, and the more people can hear about Matthew and amazing things that he's doing.
Yes. And we got to mention, guys, too, YouTube is migrating its servers away from Google, and they're also integrating the new Creator Studio. All those things are playing havoc with live streams by time. So if you do start to buffer, we wish we could fix it. The only way to do it is just refresh your screen a couple of times. F5 on your keyboard, Command R on Mac.
And if you're on your cell phone, close the video and open it up again.
Yeah, and we do apologize for in advance if there was any way we could fix that, believe me. So we'll just find out. Oh, you just...
Pixlr, hello? Okay, so Pixlr, hello. The Super Gaming Artist, hello and welcome. Everybody who's just joining in, Christina, Freefraz, Mitzi, Mitsridi. I know you've been coming here forever, but I still can't pronounce your name. Mitsridiordi. There you go. Arizona Timeless Tourist. Hello all.
Guys, we're about to bring on our guests in just a few moments, but we're literally 6 away from breaking a record here for the most people ever in our live stream at one time. We're hitting 159. Our goal is, our record is 165. So if you guys got a couple of friends that can drop by and say hi, it would be a nice little present for Matthew. Because he was worried, like I say, about coming on not have much to say. He can actually say that he broke a record on our show.
I don't know. He has a fair amount of fans going to his videos. And Twitch. He's streaming on Twitch every day. I'm pretty sure their fans are waiting for every little bit they can get.
Definitely.
So he's just a really humble
guy.
Guy.
We're close. Sorry, guys. I just didn't expect that.
We're overexcited.
Yes, exactly. Sharing on my channels now. Thank you so much, Great kid.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mida. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yes, of course.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
Oh, guys, thank you so
That's-
much.
wow.
We do appreciate new fans.
And same as you guys that know already about Mathew, you're here to hear about him. If you guys have circles, you can pass it along with. You can tweet it out to them. We'll welcome them with open arms and treat them like gold. You have our word onto it. So if you can invite them in, that would be really great.
Tell
so
your
great
best friend. Maybe
Yeah.
they want to see it.
Wow, we're getting close.
I also
Shoot.
wanted to tell you, if you do want to ask a question to Matt, you're more than welcome. Just please remind you to put at Pusa Studio or hashtag Pusa Studio if you're on your phone, so it highlights orange for me, so I can copy into my document. I will try to catch them all, and we are going to be asking it through the stream, and at the end of it, I'll try to get as many as I can in.
Definitely. No,
Yeah.
there's gonna be really cool. So there we go, guys. We're up here, and this is just a little look at what we do, and hope you guys can check us out more. And then, of course, our guest of the evening. Wow, this is gonna be amazing. His artwork is just sublime. The style, the animation. I mean, you guys want to be inspired. Anybody who hasn't met him yet, that's the thing about him tonight. You are going to be inspired. That is a guarantee. By the time this is over, what he has done and taking this video game that he loved and making what he did out of it into this cartoon is just, a lot of you are going to be going back to the drawing board tonight and getting ready to edit. I think we're going to have a lot of tired eyes tomorrow.
Oh,
after you hear this.
definitely. And I mean,
Yeah.
the first episode, just the first episode of this animation cartoons has gotten almost 2 million views.
Crazy. Yeah.
2 million views on the first episode
So
of
well-deserved.
these cartoon series. It's unbelievable, and that's why everybody's so excited about every little bit they can get out of Mathew and about what he's doing. But he is very busy. He actually does work on it every day. Every day. I did hear though that he doesn't he doesn't like not going to sleep. You hear a lot of artists are
Yes.
just doing it through the night and not sleeping for hours. Well, he actually says that he gets enough sleep,
Yep.
which was very surprising.
We're right on our record, guys. We got 165 in here. Sorry to cut you off. We
Oh.
literally have 165.
Guys,
Wow.
thank you so much.
Oh my God.
This is all thanks to you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for doing this
Wow.
for us, and of course, welcoming Mathew with open hands in such a
We beat the record. We beat the record. We got 166. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. You
Oh.
guys are amazing. Amazing,
Oh,
guys.
thank you so much, Pixar. I hope you guys can subscribe, check us out later, see more of what we do. And we're getting ready to bring Mathew on right now. It is time. Mathew, I sent you the link in Twitter. Join us as soon as you're ready, sir. We're ready to enjoy time with you. Wow, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Nemanja, I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Lilik?
I hope so. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you.
We do apologize in advance
Yes.
if mispronouncing
Please
it.
know we do it out of love. Oh, I hear that doorbell. I feel like a 1970s sitcom every time I hear the bell. I wonder who's at the door. There we go. There we go. And we're just going to get them all pinned up here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you good, sir. Now we just got to see you.
Hello.
There we go. I'm just going to bring you up 1 second. There we go. We got him up
There
here.
we go.
Let's
All
just
right.
jump to the chase and welcome our friend here tonight. Thank you so much for coming. I do appreciate it. Sorry, now I had that.
Hello
window
and
closed.
welcome. And by the way, you can
Yeah.
see us in 2 cameras probably, because one is just for you. That's where you see me waving to you. And it's only you that can see it.
There we go.
I'm trying to put mine, my video of you right under my webcam, so I'm not just like, yeah, how are you guys doing? It's a good practice.
Welcome and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for helping us break a record tonight. This is the most
Yeah, I've
we've
been
ever
listening. It sounds like you guys
Well,
busted through.
you're
Thank
you're
you.
the draw of the evening, so we know who all the credit goes to. Thank you so much.
Gosh, for nothing.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just trying to stay busy, knocking out these frames of animation.
You have a work ethic that we're gonna get into. Like, I mean, it's just I was listening to you today on Twitch, and I'm like, the way you talk about it and how you even hate to go to the store, not because you're lazy, you don't want to get off the couch. It's just you hate to get away from that work. I think it's common in a lot of ours, but you seem to take it to like the next level. Has that always been like that with you?
It's getting increasingly worse.
Really?
Yeah. No, I mean that in a good way though. When I first started out, it was like, okay, 6-7 hours a day, maybe take a day off here and there, getting work done. And after a while, the more I worked on it, the more it was all that I wanted to do. And I'll go to a convention for advertising my stuff here and there. And by the time Sunday rolls around, because they're always like Thursday or Friday until Sunday. By the time Sunday comes around, used to before I started working on this, you get so sad and depressed. No, I'm going to miss you guys. When Sunday rolls around at a con for me now, I'm just like, I need to get home. I need to get home and get back on my cartoon.
Well, yeah, I know.
I enjoy it. It's something I enjoy doing. I've never had a job that I actually wanted to go to sleep so I could hurry up and wake up and get back to work on it before.
That is so awesome. And I mean, right now, anybody, even though if they're not into what you do, are just living vicariously through what you just said, because there's so many people that can't say that last statement. And you've worked hard to get to it too.
It took me most of my adult life to get here. Before the first episode got worked on, and before basically up to the literal day I started the Patreon 17 years or so back, I've just been flipping burgers and scrubbing toilets and stuff like that.
And pest control.
And pest control and bail bonds.
That definitely, I want to touch on the bail bonds after, because I heard the story of Doug's, and I can't pass that one up. That is just gold.
We can touch on some of that. I might have to change some names and minute details though.
Guys, you're gonna love this story, believe me. And we have a thing. I always sometimes get into it too late because the conversation is good and I forget. So I'm gonna kind of take it right now. We always say we're not Oprah. We don't make people cry here. So I just want to go back a little bit when you were younger, and whatever thing you feel like touching, whatever thing you don't feel like touching, but just a bit more about, maybe if you don't mind, like where you grew up, anything you interesting.
Sure. Absolutely. I was born in Florida. I grew up in South Florida, Hillsborough County, Polk County, that whole area. Lived there till I was 20. Moved to Tennessee, and once I moved to Tennessee, that's where half of my family's from Tennessee, the other half's from Virginia. I moved up to Tennessee when I was 20, and at that point, went to go work for my dad as a bail bondsman on and off for a couple of years. I moved around Illinois, Alabama, back down to Florida for a little bit, then back to Tennessee for a little bit, and now I'm up in Maine, eventually moving to Canada.
Yes.
But started animating when I was in about third grade. I saw it was either Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street or something. Somebody had a guest on there that showed everybody on video how to make a flip book out of little notepads or the corner of an old book. And started making flip books. This was 1992 or 93, so Mortal Kombat 1 was hot off the press for Sega Genesis. There you go. I don't know if you remember Mortal Kombat, and everybody talking about, it had the blood code, ABACABB, and do the fatalities and stuff. And that's what I would do. I got my start making little Mortal Kombat stick figure fatalities on those little yellow Post-it pads.
Oh my God.
Sell them for lunch money. I got in trouble eventually in 5th grade and couldn't sell them anymore.
Really?
Yeah. It was like, you can't be selling stuff and making flip books and I got in trouble for a lot.
School is always is trying to control the creativity. School is such an awful place sometimes, like most of the time.
Always trying to hold you down.
I mean, you were ready for Marvel and all the big companies, Pixar and everything right there, because you not only made the art, but you know how to market it. So you were their dream kid coming up.
But after that, around 1994, I was in 5th grade. The first animation program I ever used was on Windows 3.1. You ever heard of Corel Draw?
Oh yeah,
like the hot air balloon logo and everything.
That was actually a Canadian company out of Ottawa.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're old enough. We remember that, but probably a lot of people in the chat don't.
Well, they made a program called Corel Move. It was in the whole, Corel Creative Suite or whatever it was called. My stepdad had bought it, and I put that on the computer, and I didn't understand at all how to do it. It was the equivalent of using Windows Movie Maker and just pasting in single frame bitmaps
Wow.
and making a cartoon that way. It was like the Windows Corel equivalent of that. I just didn't know how to do. I was like, "What's a keyframe? What's motion? What's tweening? What?" And the things that I would laugh at if I could look into a crystal ball and see little me back then, scratching his head over simple things. But that was the first program on a computer I used to animate. And then I couldn't find anything else, so I started saving everything as a sequence of little tiny 64 by 32 bitmaps and programming a slideshow in Visual Basic. I made my own little animation programs just written up on the fly, just to, show this frame for so many milliseconds, then show the next one and the next one. And then finally, it was either at the end of 8th grade or around somewhere in 9th grade, I had a laptop. Yeah, it was 9th grade. And I got this program called Macromedia Flash.
That's right.
And I went and downloaded it because I saw because it first started out as like the Thing Maker.
Yeah.
They make a thing called the Thing Maker, and it was just basically a SWF maker.
Yeah.
And the main thing that Flash was used back then, I'm sure y'all remember, like the emails you'd get, happy holidays, greetings, and little paper doll Santa would pop out and motion tween around on the screen.
Well, it had the parent program because I took multimedia integration in 2000, and we studied Macromedia Director.
Director
was for the CDD. I still have my animations. I still have them here.
You'll have to show some of them sometime.
Yes, I'd love to sit down with you. I thought Director was going to be the king. I figured Flash was only the second season they were teaching. I'm like, bandwidth's not high enough. People get sick of it, but I was wrong. Sorry, dude.
What was the other one on Apple back in the early 90s? HyperCard Studio.
Oh, I never heard of that.
HyperCard Studio was it was kind of like Flash, but had a little more like Print Shop Deluxe that you could animate. If y'all remember Print Shop Deluxe, the clip art program.
It made us all yard sales and school plays. Love that program.
I remember, that was the company, Broderboon Software. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
There were so many back then competing. Like now today we have so many mainstays, but back then everybody had a program like ready to come out. Like apps, I guess now.
Yeah, but anyway, after Corel, then I got into Flash, and that was, beginning of high school, and all through high school, the amount of high school that I went to, I dropped out and got my GED like 2 weeks after I dropped out. But I just couldn't focus. It wasn't the work was hard. I just didn't want to do the work. I was an unruly teenager, etc.
The soul of an artist. The soul of an artist.
But during high school age, I spent a lot of my time on my computer programming in Visual Basic and DirectX and making video games and animating in Macromedia Flash.
Wow.
So that's what I spent most of my time doing. That's why my grades in school suffered, is because I would stay up and animate and make Flash cartoons and program little 2D couch co-op side scroller games, or like one person would be on the arrow keys and have colon and semicolon or whatever, and the other person would be on WASD with the space bar. This little cheesy, like, Windows 3.1, Windows 98 Contra style ripoff stuff. It was fun though.
But it's funny you went in that way, because a lot of people, like artists, tend not to go that route. It's more the programmers, and they go on the backside. You really had a passion for both right from the beginning.
I just wanted to do everything that I wanted to receive media of. I was like, I like video games. I want to make a video game. I like cartoons. I want to make a cartoon. And I would set out to figure out how to make them. One of these days, I'm going to go back and I want to make a video game again. I want to make the best couch co-op side scroller ever created, and I'm 100% confident that I can do that. I have the mechanics in my head from years and years and years. I've programmed them. I 3D video games, first-person shooters, don't know the first thing about it. It's like playing the drums. I can play any musical instrument except for the drums.
Really?
But drums, I cannot figure them out. If you give me a drum set to MIDI keys on a keyboard, I can play whatever. I can be Neil Peart with my fingers. But But actually playing a set of drums, no, it's foreign to me.
Well, Sabian Cymbals, the biggest cymbals company in the world, was Zildjian. They're in Meductic, New Brunswick, just a little ways from you.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was Zildjian, the family, and they broke up, and the brother left, and he started Sabian as the initials from the first two kids of his three children, Sabin.
So those people are somewhat related to each other, the two companies.
Yep.
Those are the two brands that I would always get mixed up when I would hang out with my drummer friends and be like, oh, you got your Zildjians, and they'd be like, they're Sabians. I'm like, but the font or something, I don't know, but it's good to know that they're at least related.
Yeah, you were on, so.
But yeah, 3D games I could never program. I'm learning Blender right now,
Right.
the 3D design program. It's like Maya, but for free, and it's amazing. But that's what I always wanted to do, is make video games and make cartoons, and wish I could write. I'm a horrible writer. I can't write anything. But
Really? I figured you were so talented. Any area you went into, you would like more
yeah,
than excel.
that's another drum set, I guess, is writing. I'm good at writing dialogue. I will give myself credit where it's due. I think that I'm pretty good at setting up a dialogue between people that sounds believable and not like, white knuckle anime Goku and Vegeta face off dialogue. We'll see about that, Kakarot, or something. Yeah, like I don't know. I can only watch so many of those cartoons. I'll get excited for a new cartoon on TV, and I'll be like, oh, this is one of my favorite things from when I was a kid, and I can't wait to see the cartoon they make. And it's just, let's do it all the way. And you're just, like they're jabbing their index finger into the air every time they say something, or clenching their fist. I'm just like,
that is so awesome.
I don't know. It's nothing against the voice acting. It's just the writing. It's just back to the writing of stuff. And I want something like Plague Dogs or Watership Down. Have you ever seen any of those movies?
Watership Down, yes.
The Plague Dogs is an animated movie by the same studio, based on a book by the same guy who wrote Watership Down.
Oh, okay.
It came out like a couple years later. It's my favorite animated movie. It'll make you want to kill yourself. The ending is horribly depressing. It's the animation and the punch in the gut that it gives you throughout the whole movie, all the way up to the ending. It's really emotionally gripping, but you should definitely see it. It's my favorite animated movie of all time.
Well, I'm sold in on there.
But the main thing about them is the dialogue between the characters. You can do this with Watership Down. You can do it with the Plague Dogs. You turn the video off and listen to the audio and go cook eggs or something, or do something in the kitchen, and you hear it in the background, and it just sounds like an actual conversation. It would never cross your mind that it wasn't just like a courtroom thing, or people in a room having a dialogue or something. It sounds like real people interacting with real people. And that's what I strive for. And you don't have to be a good writer to do dialogue. You just have to be able to bounce it back and forth in your head. But as far as arranging plot points and having all your different plot points and arcs fall perfectly into place and everything line up with no holes in the story, I cannot do that. Right. And that takes me, I would rather draw 1,000 frames of my least favorite character to animate than to try to write a whole script for an episode.
Well, what you do, you have a ton of passion for, because you can feel it in it. Like right away, there's a love affair with what you do. Like, it is. And I can't think of any other term.
I know exactly what you mean. I agree 110%.
Even before I heard you talking, of course we go back and we look at some interviews to get more of a feel. But watching it, I mean, the style that you use, you can tell there's a kinship to a fonder time in your life, a memory of arts past that you bring into the future. The style of the celluloid.
Those are my most cherished memories. Absolutely.
And does that remind, because you said, like, growing up in the Bales bondsman, like your dad, was he a Bales bondsman like all your life, like when you were younger? He
at least way back to when I was 10 or 11 years old, I think is when he started, around that age. My parents divorced when I was a baby, and I didn't really, other than Christmases and stuff like that, I didn't get to go see him and hang out with him until I was like 20, 21. And that's when they're like, well, hey, I moved back to Tennessee, and what's going on? He's like, hey, come work for me. Okay.
Well, that's a great way to
It
get.
was wild. It was wild, but it wasn't for me. It was just too much stress and too much time put into it. It was like an 80-hour a week job. You're always on call, always getting up at crazy hours in the morning and going out and doing stuff, and your sleep schedule's weird a lot of the time. A lot of it was a lot of sitting in court. That's the one thing. Whenever I tell people that I used to be a bail bondsman, it wasn't like what Dog Bounty Hunter did. He was a bail bondsman, but he was also a licensed recovery agent, is what the actual term of a bounty hunter is.
Right.
I just did the court stuff and went out and arrested people that skipped court.
Wow.
It still sounds very adventurous
Yeah.
and in a way romantic.
It was wild. It was wild. I had a video of some of the people that I was talking to on it. I mean, it's horribly, incredibly offensive. It's not censored, and there's a lot of really, really bad slurs and stuff. I would not recommend watching it. Not me. I'm the little 20-year-old Mathew in a polyester suit and aviators trying to look cool with his like pubic hair half grown in sideburns, sitting there with the camera going like, "Oh my God, this is real. What's going on?" For like 15 minutes. I mean, you're gonna look it up if you want to look it up, but it's gritty, very, very offensive, full of racial slurs and disgusting jokes, and me in the back of a car with a video camera going like, "Whoa," for half an hour.
A culture shock.
We didn't even find the person we were trying to arrest. We didn't find her until the next day.
Really?
But anyway, it was a bunch of that. It was a bunch of riding around, smoking packs of cigarettes a day, staking out houses, peeing in a bottle, pouring it out the window, sitting in a car, not being able to get out for hours at a time, watching a house, waiting for somebody to get home, stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I don't like doing. I don't like sitting still for 9 hours in a car.
Lots of hurry up and wait.
Like driving, like backing out of the little stakeout spot and seeing like a little anthill of cigarette butts that have formed over the course of 9 hours, 3 packs of Camel Wides. Oh, yeah, I don't miss that.
That would be the first sign to detect you.
we never said we were good at the job.
Oh, no.
But it's a lot of hurry up and wait, interrupted by a short blast of energy, I'm sure. Like when it's time to go in. I have to get to the midget story. I'm sorry. Where I'm working with
Lord.
this. That one I can't let go, and I want to make sure as many people hear this as possible, because I was banging on the table. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah. We'll call her Mrs. T. Nettie. Well, I'll say Nettie. She's not going to care. If she complains, I'll send her some hush money. She'd probably appreciate it. Yeah, so Nettie was first arrested that I know of, the most recent arrest at this point in time was public intox. And yes, Nettie is a little person. Is that the right?
Yep.
And she, one of her characteristics was a spinal extension. Like what was the movie with Jason Alexander where he's like, "Come on, you can pet it if you want." Or was it Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler,
Dad
I think.
movie,
yeah. God, I can't.
Big Daddy, was that it?
I'm sure somebody's yelling at us in the chat right now. You're gonna see
something like that. Like one of those things. How some people are born with a little bitty tail because their spine didn't fuse or something, and also head lice.
Oh no.
She was wrapped up in. Now I didn't go and pick her up. I wasn't there for this. This is just what happened. What had happened. They are not allowed legally to. Just like, me as a bail bondsman, I'm not legally allowed to suggest to my clients a lawyer. You're not allowed to. You can give them the full list in the phone book or a poster that has everyone who's been registered since whatever year, but you cannot say, "Oh, my friend Jackie or whoever is a good guy for whatever." You can't do that. You have to give them a full list. Same thing with the sheriff's office. They're not allowed to call a bail bondsman for you or suggest one. And This may or may not have happened. This may just be totally fictitious, and I'm not naming names, but it could have happened that one of the sheriffs was so worried about putting her in general population, theoretically, of course, and straight up called my dad and, you know, said, "Hey, we've got her wrapped up in garbage bags. She looks like some space Martian thing. Can you please, I can't get a hold of anybody at any of the other places. Will you please come down here and bail her out before I have to put her in Gen Pop?" And he came out, and that was the first arrest and the first bail. And she did not go to court. And this is where I came in. And well, we drove around for a day or two and couldn't find her, and then eventually found her. Picked her boyfriend up at a gas station, told him we'd give him some stuff if he would show us where, she was, and she was hiding at. And we went and picked her up, dropped him off there, and he's like, "Wait, well, can I get a ride back into town?" And just drove. I wasn't driving. I was actually the one there going, "Aren't you?" And he's just shaking his head while he's driving. I was like, are you gonna? And he's just, and she's in the back. And I had tried to put the handcuffs on her, and they wouldn't fit because at the smallest setting of the handcuff, everybody's had handcuffs on for some reason or another, right?
That's right. I've heard. So I
get down to that. You get it down to the smallest one, and her hands still slipped right through. And these were Romas.
Oh.
These were like the Italian, like, forged steel, real deal. Like, if I lost them, I had to pay my dad several $100s.
Oh no.
And even as the highest quality great handcuffs as they were, their lowest setting was still not small enough to keep her hands in them. So we were just like, screw it.
Wow.
And let her sit in the back of the car. I gave her a cigarette, and basically when we got in, the problem was, if I brought her in there without handcuffs on, pardon my French, I would receive an ass chewing from the sheriff as I turned over the person to the sheriff's office. Then he would call my father, and I would receive a biblical butt chewing from my father. So I'm sitting here in the car. Jason lets me take her in, and I get her up there before we go in, and I give her another cigarette. And I'm like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And we told her, we had to take her in because she missed court. She goes in, sits there for 8 hours, mandatory booking, and files. Well, we go in and file what's called a blue motion for them and bail them. We bail them back out of jail. They have to pay us more money, and they have to pay for the original charge as well as the turning in on failure to appear. And we go in and file what's called a blue motion for them to get it taken off. It's like, oh, they're with us and they're cooperative, or I don't know the details of it, but it basically keeps them from getting a Class A felony for missing that court case. And it's the piece of candy that we lure them into the bondsman car with, saying, like, "Come on," when they're like, "Oh, I don't want to go." And it's like, "Look, if you come with us and you cooperate, we'll file this. If you don't come with us, it's going to be a Class A felony on your record, and you're going to be a registered felon for the rest of your life." And usually when you say that, they jump in the car. And we do that, and that's the process, going to the sheriff's office and then taking the forms over and filing it for them at the bonding company office. And I told her, I was like, "Look, we're going to do all this stuff for you, but if you could just do me this one favor, just ball up your fists." And I asked her, it was like, if you can just ball up your fists and with your hands behind your back, and not let these handcuffs slide off of your arms, and just keep your fists balled up until the sheriff uses his universal key and removes them, I'll give you the cigarette, and I'll tell my dad everything went well and all that. And it was so awkward walking in down the hall of shame. Literally, I have to lean down this far to show you my face anyway. But I was like this, holding with handcuffs, holding a person, and looking like I was staring at her ass because I had her slightly in front of me, and I was looking down there, making sure that her fists stayed balled up
Oh
so
my
the handcuffs would not slide off, and I was so nervous.
God.
It
That's
it
so
was.
awesome.
Oh my god, I can just picture.
I'm sure there's some more exaggerating details I could think of from other things, but this is really the best and
It's
really the least unwholesome story I have to tell, I think.
it's such a Benny Hill
Yes,
story. I can
yes.
almost hear the music playing at the end of it there.
Or the what is it, the Curb Your Enthusiasm
Oh
theme.
Yes,
yes,
yes.
yes,
Boom,
classic
boom,
movie.
boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Walking with the hands.
There's a lot of situations like that. Just everything could go wrong, and everyone looks at you and goes, "Oh my god!" And you didn't even do anything. You're like, "What?" And boom, boom, boom. Yeah, like that job was just a one repetitive series of Larry David moments.
There was one bump, bump, bump after another.
Uh,
But I mean, stuff like that I think shapes you as an artist too. I mean, it was born with those
oh yeah,
moments, you
yeah.
know.
It definitely has a lot of influence on the Wolf O'Donnell character and where I want to take him.
But it must
Because
have
that's
been
kind of what
hard.
he does for a living in the cartoon. He ends up being a mercenary bounty hunter type guy, and I want to have some scenes where later in life it leads up to making him look like he's been so successful doing all this badass stuff,
Mm.
and it goes to one of the cases, and it's like a situation like that
Oh.
where he has to take some tiny feeble animal species person that's like really small and his handcuffs won't fit. And yeah, I've had situations like that. A lot of the ones that I get that I would have to arrest, that like the big burly 400-pound dudes that would turn me into a grease stain, we would hire someone. That's it. Like if it's someone that looks like they're going to be a problem, then you hire somebody. But if it's like some 23-year-old that got high smoking weed and forgot to go to court, that's anybody.
That was
We'd have young ladies that were my age in there going and arresting people. But you
wow.
never go alone. You never go alone. But whoever there's always someone there. The person arresting didn't matter. You could be tough or weak or whatever, skinny, nerdy kid like I was.
And-
But your partner, the person who came with you, was usually someone who was large and had done this 100 times before and had your back. Anytime we heard a noise or something, uh, just to put the record straight, everybody that was with me, as horribly offensive or racist or assholish as some of them might have been, every single one of them always had my back. They always had my back, and they respected me, and they respected my father, and I trusted them.
and
It
that's
was one of those situations that's like, man, you say a lot of offensive stuff that I would never say out loud to anybody, but hey, you watched out for me today, so I can put that aside and not care. It was a very, very long mixture of emotions. That entire job, I worked on and off. Me and my dad got into nasty arguments sometimes.
wow.
He'd fire me and then hire me back a month or two later. He fired and hired everyone. Like that was his way of suspending people. If you stole $20 out of the register for drugs or something, or yeah, there were people there that would come in and try to work and be
Wow.
hooked on stuff. There was like the main crowd of like all the good people that worked there, and then you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna hire this new person from so and so's bonding company, and then I'd be like, oh, so how's so and so? Like, oh yeah, they were doing blank thing, and I had to quit, or I've been making quit because they wouldn't quit taking it in the bathroom or something
Oh
like
my
that.
Oh
god.
my god.
Well,
These are
let's
all theoretical, fictitious stories, of course. They
yes.
never actually
Yes.
happened.
You met
But yeah, like it was a crazy crowd of people. I mean, he doesn't have the bonding company anymore. It's all closed down. He's retired. So
Did
half of these
he
people are
do it
dead.
right
And
up until he retired?
yeah.
Wow.
He operated it from home.
Okay.
He worked there for several decades, and then by the time that I started working there, he operated it from home and came in a couple times a week just to see how things were going.
Wow. That's
But
that can't be easy over a long period of time. I mean, that's a job that takes everything out of you, mentally,
yeah,
physically.
absolutely. Long story less long. Yeah, I did that until on and off. I think it was 2008 was the last time I went up there. And I don't know. I don't talk to my dad that much anymore. We're not on bad terms or anything. I
Mm.
just last time I talked to him, he's just like, "Oh, that's what you doing." We just don't have really that much in common.
Right. Right.
That's all. And we met too late in life, so just like, yeah, I'm doing my own thing that has nothing to do with anything that you're interested in. But yeah, hey, all right.
Do you want to talk about your mom a little bit?
Yeah, I lived with my mom most of my life. Let me turn the heat down real quick. Oh my man, it is warm.
Even on Twitch a while ago, when you had your on Twitch when you had your toque on a while ago, yeah, you braved it for about 2 minutes and then you were boiling up.
There we go. Yeah, I was starting to become aware that I had armpits. It's like, I mean, I have deodorant on and everything, but it's like when your room gets to the temperature where, mainly it's this glove and my armpits. Like, yeah, those are places that I have nerves and I'm feeling kind of okay. Turn the heat down. I'm really picky. I have like this 2-degree window of where I can work. And if
So
I get too hot, my palms get all sweaty and the tablet's all yucky. If I get too cold, I can't feel my fingers. But anyway, my mom, I love my mother very much. I'm on a good relationship with my mom. My mom and my sister, my stepbrother, they're the family of mine that lives in, or brother-in-law, I'm sorry. They're the family of mine that lives in Tennessee.
right.
And that's where I lived like right down the road for a year or two before I moved up here to Maine. I just moved up here back in July.
Right.
Uh, they're the ones that I get all of my creative stuff from.
Right.
My sister and my mom have always been into art and quilting and drawing and crafting and sculpting and everything. I've been more the music one. I was more into playing instruments. My sister was never really into playing musical instruments or singing or any of that stuff. My
Mm.
mom can. My mom plays piano. Uh, my aunt is really, really good at piano. She's the one that had the piano when I was a kid, and I would go over and play it all the time.
Mm.
Mainly just heart and soul over and over again.
That's okay.
Uh, but yeah, my mom and my sister were the biggest creative forces that influenced me. My mom was into quilting and sewing and sculpting, and my sister was the artist. She's the writer.
No.
She sucked up all of the writer's gene skill stuff from my mom,
Oh.
and I guess I got what was left over of the drawing and art stuff because my sister could draw when she was 12 better than I draw now.
Really?
She's won national, international contests for poetry writings. There's
Wow.
one that she didn't get first place,
Okay.
and found out that the person who got first place, I found out, because it was she showed me. She's like, "Look who won! Can you believe this?" And I read it, and I just went and ran and grabbed my fourth grade English book and opened it up, and it was like other than 3 words directly plagiarized out of my English book that year. So they got disqualified,
Oh
and my sister got
no.
bumped up a
You were
place.
a hero in your sister's eyes.
But it was just, yeah, but she made a flip book. She saw the flip books I was making, and she made one, and it was like this eye with this bloody tear dripping down, and it was done in ink, so there's no erasing, and it looked perfect. It was like an eye blinking the lashes and a tear drizzling down and turning into a vine that twists into this thorny rose bush branch
Wow.
and all this stuff, and I immediately chucked it in the garbage, chucked it right in the trash, little 9-year-old me. And I
Typical
would
brother.
just straight up jealousy and maybe a little contempt, I don't know. But yeah, my sister has always been the one that has drawn and written stuff miles better than me. I may end up asking for her help and writing some of the stuff for my other cartoon that I want to do after A Fox in Space is filled up.
Really? I didn't know you were thinking with your sister. That's cool.
And
Yes.
other cartoon.
It's
That's
possible.
also yeah, there are two things. So it's gonna be a family venture, and you're already thinking about the other cartoon while you are doing this one.
Yeah. Oh, this is one I haven't even written the story for it yet. I'm still designing the characters and everything. It's I've got a couple of the characters figured out, but as for the arcs and the story and the denouement and all that stuff, I have no idea what it's going to be, and that's years off. couple years at least. I'm still going to be doing Fox in Space for a while.
Well, now that we have everybody here and it's been a little bit now, because our viewers, maybe some aren't familiar with you yet, maybe we'll touch on Fox in Space for a little bit. I want to show people we don't play the audio, but I can show them a bit of the video and that, and you can just tell them a little bit about it, where maybe where it began, because some people don't even know the roots to the video game and your connection to it.
Right. That's something else I should probably include. When I was in third grade, Star Fox came out for the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
And I've always been into animal people, like with the whole furry thing and all that. I got into the furry fandom mainly just because I like drawing animal people. The whole dressing up as a neon blue fox and jumping around with thousands of people was never my bag. But I've always been into the animal people art. Even when I was a little kid, before I even knew what any of the anthropomorphics and stuff was, I just liked drawing animal people. I got tired of drawing humans when I was a little kid. And when Star Fox came out, that was like it for me. The puppets that the figures that they had that were actually puppets. Just I loved the dark atmosphere of the game and everything. I fell in love with it, and ever since I was a kid, my main wish as a small child, I wanted there to be a Star Fox TV series or a movie in the style of the Dark Crystal. If you've seen that one. Like with Jim Henson style animatronic puppets and stuff like that, because that's what the characters looked like on the box art for the video game. But that was my biggest wish as a kid. I was like, I love Star Fox so much. This game is so cool. I want to make a cartoon. And when I got older, 15, 16 years old, and got into Macromedia Flash, I made a whole bunch of Fox McCloud and Falco animated little shorts and funny, goofy things like them smoking weed or dancing to a Ween song or something like that. They're on Newgrounds. You can look up. My Newgrounds account still exists from 17, 18 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But
it's the beginnings. It's the beginnings.
Yeah, the first cartoon is an animation of me and my friend Derek huffing a can of Duster. And it got a number 2 cartoon of the day, and it was the very first one we put on there, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, whenever I got around to actual Flash animation back in the Newgrounds era, I was animating a bunch of little Fox McCloud and Falco and Star Fox stuff, and still wanted to, but I knew I wasn't good enough to make a series or anything. And then after years went by and years, and I started getting into Vegas video editing and effects, and I learned what a PNG was. I started making layered animations. I exported the raw frames of animation from Flash over to Vegas and putting it in layers and adding all the light filters and effects and things, the things that make a Fox in Space look different than an SWF Flash cartoon that you load in a browser page. And once I started, this was for other cartoons and stuff though. And once I started doing that for a couple years, then events happened. I moved and was like, okay, I just got out of a bad situation. I'm in a good situation. What kind of stuff do I want to do? I've got to make myself do something for the rest of my life, or I'm going to get back into a bad situation and possibly not make it out again. And that's what got me out of it. Was I want to make that Star Fox cartoon because I'm good enough now. I made this other little drug war cartoon. It was this other cartoon with animal people, like a Viet Cong drug war in the 80s with these lizard people. And I never finished it. Interesting story on that. I'll have to tell you sometime.
Sure.
But it was just, things happened. People moved on. Friends died and moved away and stuff that were part of the project. So it was just like, it never got finished. But I still have like about 3 minutes of the animation. And looking at that, I was like, okay, this is what I know how to do. But I want to do a Star Fox cartoon. So that's when I started working. It was about very, very beginning of 2010. Late December 2009 was when I finally buckled down and said, I'm going to do this. Then it was Star Fox, the animated series, because it was really small and I hadn't put anything real together for it yet. And then that went on for 3 or 4 years until I finally got the Patreon and took it seriously. And I eventually had to change the name because of Nintendo. And then and that's what I've been doing ever since. That's pretty much the timeline of me getting into animation, from flip books to Flash to Fox in Space.
Was the Patreon was a decision to get Patreon? Or?
Yeah, I had heard of it for a couple of months or a year. I think it was like 2013. I saw that it was a thing. Oh, this is like one of those crowdfunding things, but they pay you every month on a subscription, huh? And people had suggested it. People had said, "Oh, hey, you need to do this. Oh, hey, you need to do that." And and I was just like, no, because it's like, because I thought it was kind of like Kickstarter, like you get all this money, and then if you don't produce, they get pitchforks and come and
Yeah.
string you up. And I was like, no, given my past, and I was not the greatest person in the world with responsibility and money and stuff back then. And I knew it's like the reason I'd never applied for a credit card. I was like, I'm not going to do this because I know that there's 100% chance I'm going to end up for the worst over this. And that was my attitude of my self-confidence, I guess.
But that's kind of common in a lot of artists, I think, what you said right now. I mean,
and one night it was a little bit of alcohol was involved, and a couple of friends got together, and one of them was like, dude, you need to make this into a Patreon. And I was like, and a couple of friends were like, come on, no, he's right, you need to do it. Just give it a try. What's the worst? You get $50 a month and then go, okay, this isn't worth it. Never mind. Thanks anyway.
Right.
And I was like, I've been drinking a little bit of wine. And I was just like, you know what? Screw it. And then I started putting all the stuff together for it. And by this point, I made a lot of, silly, funny webcam videos when I was a teenager that I got known for in the early 2000s. So I'd already built up a fan base of people who knew who I was. So I buckled down for a couple weeks, made 60 seconds of a Fox in space sample animation, put it through post with all the effects and stuff in Vegas, and then made the Patreon, made a video of me saying, hey, this is me. This is what I'm trying to do. You know me from this, and here's this, and this is what I want to do with it. And this is what I'm asking for. And then at the end of it is the 60 seconds of, animation demo, the proof of concept. And put that up. I was like, I need 750 or like 650. I remember something like $500 for part-time or $1,000 a month. If I can get enough people on here giving me a total of $1,000 a month, then I can quit my gas station job and not have to do that anymore. And, and keep doing this. And I think it was, by the end of the night, it got up to like $800, and it was like 1,100 something the next morning. So yeah, I was like, yep, screw you guys, I'm out of here. I didn't literally say that, but
wow,
it was nice to not have to scrub toilets anymore, or do a call center job. I'd been doing call center jobs and gas station jobs back and forth, and just and then it's like, oh, I got to move, or oh, my lease is up, and they want to charge me more, so now I've got to move somewhere, and all that stuff, and just miserable garbage dealing with customer service, and then Patreon, and ever since that day, this has been what I've been doing. And that's part of the reason. All of that is part of the reason that I stay with it and work on it and show everybody literally every hour that I'm online working on it a day, and then some that people don't even see, because most nights I'll just turn the camera off. I feel less pressure when I'm working and no one's watching me, so I can just kind of, sometimes I like to lay back and just look at stuff and think about things, and you can't do that on a stream.
No,
it makes it look like you're just sitting there not doing anything. But sometimes I'll just alt tab back and forth between Vegas and Blender and be like, okay, what looks good? And you do that on a stream, people are going to come and be like, what are you doing, dude? So that's why I try to just stay constantly busy and moving back and forth between things and changing to another scene for animating when this one gets kind of repetitive. It's like I've been drawing the same dude's frames for 6 hours of the stream. It's like, well, let me stop working on James and go over and animate some Wolf O'Donnell frames for a little bit. So when I'm off stream, it's like, I don't have any guidelines. I can work at my own pace and talk to myself and pick my nose and do what I want. And I end up getting like 3 or 4 more hours of work done.
Having a live audience observing your work basically on a daily basis, almost 24/7, does it make you more organized and more motivated to finish what you're doing?
Sometimes. Most of the time, actually, yeah. I've actually gone ahead and gotten most of the organizing mastered at this point with Google Drive and Sync. I have a online Google Drive folder that every time I save something on this computer, it has an image of everything in my work folder uploaded. So if I save one little file in that folder, it starts going like, oh, beep, beep, beep. And it starts thinking and looking through the files to find the one that's been changed and uploads it to the server. So then I take my laptop that's linked to the same one and go to someone's house. I open it up, turn it on, and turn on Google Drive and Sync. And it automatically downloads the changed file. It checks which is the newest. So if I make changes to that file on my laptop while I'm away and save it, and it's hooked up to Google Drive, it'll go, oh, you made a newest change. This is the newest version on this computer, and it'll upload it and it'll download it right to this computer at home if it's on, just instantly. So like I have 2 computers and a Google Drive that all have the exact same files of my cartoon on it. So that's having that organization has saved me so much time.
And a lot of artists realize that too late, and I've heard of it time and time again. Redundancy is the key to keeping a nervous breakdown away.
The best advice for if you're stuck in something that's half organized, tough it out to the end of the project. Make notes for when you start volume 2 or episode 2 of what you're doing. See, episode 1's organization at the first part, the scenes were saved in random folders and stuff, and then halfway through it I started a format where each scene was going to be called the name of the character and then the name of the first character that speaks in that shot and the first 3 words they say. So like the shot where Wolf is like, well, you know, people talk, like that scene would be called Wolf, well, you know, dot whatever. And it's because I would know in my head exactly where the camera cuts and like, okay, this is the scene where it starts out with blank character saying like, oh, I don't think this is a good idea. So it's like, oh, so that one would be called Fox, I don't think.
Right.
You know, and like I made that format. It's just a suggestion, you know, everybody's got their own way of stuff, but that's the one that worked for me. And like when you have, you know, like 40 or 50 something camera changes in a project, and each of those folders has thousands of PNGs in them, or hundreds of PNGs in them. You have to have an organization, not just for organization, but if you put all of those files in one folder, the way that hard drives and partitioning and stuff works, you double click to open that folder and your computer's going to chug and take a few seconds to load. Like, oh, this is a file window with 89,000 files in it. You're going to hear your computer going like, and then like the files slowly loading. You have to partition stuff and put it in smaller folders, or your computer will literally slow down. So that's another thing that's important.
And your frames, you're doing them at basically 24 frames a second?
The native frame rate of the cartoon's production is 24 frames a second. Like the video that gets uploaded to YouTube and converted to 30 or whatever they do to their videos is a 24 frames per second MP4 at 1080p, however many megabits, whatever. I just set it to the very highest that it'll go and let YouTube worry about the decoding. But the characters themselves are animated at 12. Oh. But if the characters were inside of an R-wing flying on the screen, the character cell would be moving around at 24 frames a second, locked to the inside of that R-wing and going around, because the R-wings and vehicles move at 24. It just looks better. But if the character like made visual changes to their frame in the cockpit, it would update every other frame. But the cell itself would be moving around smoothly, so they wouldn't be like lagging every other frame behind the R-wing. The characters are at 12 or on 2s. Everybody asks me, do you animate on 2s or 3s? It's like, well, first I want to tell you I animated in 24 frames a second, but the characters are at 12, so I guess that would be 2s. I don't know. Whenever I hear that, I think it's like, oh, you went to animation school. Everybody always asks me like, oh, what do you think of motion squidgy denomination or whatever, or some term I've never heard of. It's like you're gonna have to tell me what it is first. You should start that with, do you know what this is? This big thing that 7 people have probably heard of.
They like to impress people. I mean, we have it in every industry.
That's also a downside of being self-taught. There's a lot of people that may have just heard it from someone, and and ask. It's like I have no idea, and I automatically assume like, oh well, Mr. Flauncy Nancy Pants over here went to animation school. That's a tick. I can't help that. If somebody comes up to me like, oh, how do you feel about the theory of blah blah blah? I'm just like, oh, somebody's gonna get laid in animation school. And he shouldn't. I shouldn't. You know, I should be happy and proud that there are people like that'll go out and learn stuff. But I can't help but be annoyed by it sometimes. When you have people come in and ask you the same thing, 7 times in a week, every week for years and years while you work. I think I've suppressed my angst and aggression toward annoyances pretty well so far. I haven't gone full a-hole just yet.
But I think that's what shapes your work. You can see that into you, the understanding you're good at your craft, but you also have a lot of life experience in between. I like people like that don't get caught up. It was the same as music. I was a musician as well. I played a lot. And
what do you play?
Guitar, drums. I worked for Canada's biggest music company for 7 years. I used to work with Slash and Dave Mustaine and all those guys. I was
right on. That's awesome.
Marshall Amplifiers. Well, I was Marshall Canada. So once across the border, I did all marketing and artist relations Canada-wide, Digitech, Pearl Drums, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Maybe you can show me how to play drums one day.
Well, a little side note, why I played the drums. I grew up in rural Quebec, like I was saying. If you go to Upper New Brunswick, there's the Bay de Chaleur that goes around. I'm from the Quebec side, so at the shore of New Brunswick on the north part, if you look over that water,
yeah,
that's where I'm from. We had 80 guitarists, 2 bass players, and nobody played drums. And there was a guy that his father had a drinking problem. He played in a country band, and one night when I was 16, I went and got a friend to get me 2 cases of beer, brought them over, got him drunk, and bought his drums while he was drunk.
Right on. That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's right. You make things happen. Not a clue what I was doing. There was no YouTube. Nobody to help me. Rural, 280 people in my town. So I just sat down and taught myself how to play and just stayed with it till I got it. And that's how I got into the drums. So yeah.
That's awesome.
I still have my guitars here. I have 2 RGX 521 Yamahas. I had one when I was 18. It was real 80s style, 24 fret Floyd Rose. And
I love that. That's the one with the little screw-in thing on the bottom plate. Yeah, those are awesome.
I don't know if you can see in the screen. Xenia's turning it on the guitars right now. You can't see it at home. You can Here, I'll turn it for you now. Sorry, you're gonna get a bit seasick. I don't know if you can see it. The guitars now.
I see the black and the blue one.
Yeah,
the
they're
acoustic.
Twins. Yeah. And
then, that's awesome. The Floyd Rose thing's great. You can bend them ridiculously and they go right back.
Oh, I'm an 80s guy.
Like you got the one where like the screws are actually pressing down on the strings and everything. Yeah. My buddy had a nice $1,200 guitar with the Floyd Rose thing on it. And man, you could not get that thing to go out of tune. I don't know how
you can
works.
Literally hold it by the whammy and you can physically cut the strings off after that and you're fine. So
let me show you what I got imported from Japan. It's Korg RK100S.
Oh my god!
It's based on the old Korg RK100s.
No
from
way.
the 80s. It's just it's the same technology and everything, just in a newer body. Batteries are probably they're still in. It has to be hooked up to a speaker. It doesn't make any sound.
Really?
But yeah, it's
that
like
is
$800 or
$900
$900 keytar, and I got it as a display model, like $250 off. I had to jump and grab it, and I'm glad I did.
Can you hold it up like horizontal? Yeah, so people can see it.
Let me scoot back a little bit. I'll take my microphone off.
Oh, that is wicked.
That's crazy. Wow.
That is as 80s as it gets.
Yes. Wow.
I think it's this. Have you ever heard of Dragon Force?
Yes.
Yeah, I think like literally every member of that band has this exact keytar.
Well, when I remember the music company I worked for, I was naming off Pearl and Marshall. The other brand that I didn't even bother mentioning it was Korg. I was Korg Canada as well.
Hell yeah. I think it was one of the guys from Korg Canada that did the video on this that sold me on it.
Yeah.
Because they have like on Musician's Friend and Sweetwater and stuff. They're like, hey, this is he's got the little headset. Like, this is so and so from Korg, Toronto, and showing you the new whatever. And I think it was
Steve Knowles is one guy. He has kind of like a really aerodynamic haircut, and the other guy, I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, they did a lot of videos for that stuff. Oh, Juliet Miranda, where are you? Juliet comes right in when we're talking about music.
Of course. She used to be a rock and roll journalist, and now she does podcasts telling her stories from that time. So,
the movie Almost Famous?
Oh, yeah.
Well, her life is almost famous. She took off and lived on the road in the 80s and 90s with these bands traveling. And we had Don Jameson on last week. I don't know if you know him, the host from That Metal Show.
I've heard of That Metal Show.
Yeah, he was our guest last week, thanks to Juliet.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
Right on.
I don't know if you know our chat, because we talked a little bit. Like, we had 42 subscribers at the end of February, and we just started live streams at the end of May. The beginning of May.
29th of March.
29th of March.
See the difference between
You're
men's
like
memory
4K.
and women's?
Yes, I go to this. She's my memory. That's right. Yeah. So.
Right on. I've watched a couple of them. I've been trying to get Greg on here too at some point.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys would like to have him on the show at some point. He's just finished his second graphic novel. He owns a comic book store, Heroes Beacon. He co-owns, like it's him and a couple of his friends.
Yeah.
Owns Heroes Beacon in St. John, New Brunswick.
Yes, a fellow Canadian.
A very successful comic book game store. Like the comic books, board games, Magic cards. I think he's there right now playing Commander.
Oh, he's got to get in touch with me. He's on Twitter, right?
Yeah. The name of his comic book is Space Podyssey. So it's another animals in space.
Oh,
thing.
I seen him early today. I seen him come up in YouTube.
Yeah. He's watching you right now, actually. So
hey, how are you? There he is. There he is. No, I'm back. I'm not there. He says.
I'm doing the cover of his second volume too. So it'll be a nice thing to do.
Me with the arrow. That's awesome. I love it.
Awesome.
Me.
Nice
Yeah. He co-owns Heroes Beacon in St. John, New Brunswick. I'm going to be going over there sooner than later to play some Magic at some point. I want to get better at it because they do all the Commander games all the time. That's what I want to get into.
Well, I was going to bring this up as a side note. You heard us saying we like to bring all the communities together. Something new we're actually going to start is maybe once a month or twice a month. We want to do a panel and get our live stream set up properly for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to have one night a panel, for instance, you guys, about the comic industry and all that.
Absolutely.
I'd love to work with you and get about 5 to 6 people that you think really represent the whole genre.
Absolutely. Now, me personally, I like weird old 80s comics, not the superhero Marvel DC stuff. I'm not really the comic book guy. I mean, I'll come by and if there's anything to do with animation or any stuff like that. But Greg is like he's him and the people, the friends of his and mine that work there and own the store and everything. They're all like uber comic book historian types.
Oh,
they can tell you
awesome.
everything. Like every time I come in there, they're all discussing, not like debating stuff, but they're discussing like the politics and economics of comics and like what things they need to order and what things they probably shouldn't order and issues online. Like all that stuff does play into comic book stores. Definitely. I mean, if you've seen this stuff on YouTube, there's so many YouTube channels of people, the pro SJW, anti SJW, and all that political garbage and comic books. There's a lot of controversy everywhere in comic books, and everybody's discussing things.
Well,
but even not even just controversy, but just like money issues. It's like what comics are going to sell, what comics are, if we get a bunch of stock of them, we're going to lose thousands of dollars on a comic that no one's going to buy, and things like that. Magic the Gathering puts out certain rules and bans certain cards from their tournaments. You have to go back in and reprice stuff and supply and demand and all that stuff. I couldn't do it. I don't know how they do it, but everything about comics and Magic cards and stuff is just like the stock exchange.
Oh, definitely. It is. It's its own currency. I mean, as it's running. Mars Tweaks Drone says, I would love to come on your stream. Exactly. And I want to have one with the drones. I want to have one with the mechanics. And I want to have, and start getting everybody to kind of get to know these communities better by them getting up and actually talking, And like you said, not everybody from the same niche of it. I want like you to help me find like maybe 5 people that kind of represent a good global view of what it looks like. Not all necessarily the politics, but different areas
But
of
just
it.
comic books and comics and stuff. I can
Comic-
guarantee you, like Greg will be able to suggest many more. Like that, his life is. I'm not saying like his life is comic books, but like he deals with comic books and comic fans every day.
Well, Greg and I are going to be in touch. We're going to have a lot to talk about.
He's a big Transformers guy too. I don't know if you like
Oh.
Transformers.
Oh, that's always a draw.
Yes.
And that's the nice thing about this is like opening it up, and I think you see what we're doing here is getting everybody that's maybe not in the direct scale of what you do, but they enjoy what you do. For instance, model trains. We bring in model train guys. Lots of people like trains, even though they don't do it all day, every day. Lots of people can appreciate it, or want to get into it, or they've been thinking of it. We have this guy, Heavy Metal Magnet, that comes by, and he introduced me to a whole new genre on here where they fish with magnets. And they clean lakes and all this stuff. And they have their own community.
Fish to get stuff out of the lake.
Yeah, and
I was like, what kind of fish is going to eat it?
Exactly. I seen it that night. I'm like, what in God's name is this? But I found the coin community. And then I found...
That's cool. That's a good idea, though.
Yep. And I mean, they clean out lakes, so it's environmental. And at the same time, too, they also go for, like, they find watches and all these things people lost. And it's illegal in some places. I find that so interesting. I look at YouTube like a library. And I like kind of picking books off a shelf and seeing what's beyond. Like, finding you guys, the short story of it is I found Blacklist Universe one night. It was recommended to me at 2 a.m. and I'm like, he's got 1.8K. No, it was a really small number at the time. He just started, but he had like 800 people in the chat. And I'm like, this is a scam. I got to go look. And then I heard everybody talking and I started checking out the panel. I'm like, this is insane. Like, that's when I seen Doug TeNapel for the first time. It's like he had Patricia Heaton sitting in his living room. What is this guy? And I started looking more and more. And Doug was, I thought I'll never get him on, but I'll try somebody else. And ended up Doug was the one we first got in contact with. And Doug has been amazing.
Right.
He is such a gentleman,
We used to watch at night.
Absolutely.
We used to watch at nights them talking, and it's like we don't understand half of what they're talking yet, but it sounds so.
Yeah, some of the stuff on there goes over my head.
Yeah,
and like
okay, good, not just me.
Like the comics gate or gamer gate or whatever gate stuff that people talk about. Like I have no horse in that race, so I can't really make a bet one way or another.
But they're interesting, like.
Yeah. I mean, it is, and I'm sure there are important issues in there that do need to be discussed one way or another. It's just I've never been in that environment, just like with the Gamergate thing.
Right.
I see a video game I like, I get it. I don't go after journalism or do like the whole political stuff with video games. I don't know. So whenever people are talking about that kind of stuff with comics, I just kind of sit back and try and listen and absorb and research.
Like Ellis, I'd love to have him on. Not many people would know most of the people he's talking about, but he's one of the most fantastically interesting people to listen to.
He's a storyteller.
Oh,
if there ever was one.
I don't even know what he's
like
talking
such
about.
a cool dude. I would love to go to a barbecue with him.
Open a bottle of beer and sit back with him for the next 5 hours. You'd be loaded with stories.
Absolutely.
And I'm forgetting his name now. The guy in Blacklist Universe. He's always got he doesn't draw, but he's always in black and white. His camera. He always reads out the super chats and everything. Oh. I can't think of his name.
Well, you guys, you will have to go to Blacklist Universe and check it out.
Yes. But I love his voice. Like I would want to hire him just to follow me around and read everything that I have to read. Have him read it to me. Okay, the weather in Montreal is. He's got that voice that just echoes right through. So there's the star we were also waiting for, because there's 2 stars, guys, tonight. I was going to ask for you. Guys, you are in for such a treat right now. As you're getting it ready, maybe you can tell a little bit about how you did this.
I wish you can't share your desktop with Zoom, can you?
Yes, you can. Yep, down in the middle.
Just down the middle, video. Share. Okay, yep. Let's see.
But it might knock you out of proportions because of the window. We'll try it.
That's fine. I'll adjust it if I need. Sure. I'm just trying to get ZBrush open. Hold on just a sec.
No problem.
ZBrush.
Guys, you got to see this. This is so cool. Yeah, see, that's the problem. We can only see a tiny bit of your screen.
Can you move it or not?
Hang on one sec. I'm going to try something. Let me just... Oh, this is going to be on the fly. Guys, bear with me. But we're going to try this.
I can put it right in the middle. It's all right. Can you see that?
You got to go over...
Is that showing up?
Yeah, we just see a corner. the first corner
There
of
you
your
go.
There, yes, that's good.
Let me
Here,
get it pushed up there. If you can, I can put it up there if it's too small. Let's see. I know there's something I can, move it over there.
Maybe make your windows. It will be hard for you to work, but your window would have to be smaller. That's why. And then pull it over more. Yeah.
Let's see. I can make it a small window. That's fine. I'm just trying to show the actual model itself.
Yeah.
So it's got to be over farther on the screen.
Yeah, because you're right at the edge. Like we just see the gray area of the bounding
That's
bonds.
weird.
Yeah, keep moving it over.
Let's see. Let's see if that'll do something. It's very strange.
That's the only problem with Zoom is that I find. I don't know why it doesn't keep the same.
You have to enable the full screen.
Maybe I can just share the whole screen, maybe. And what did that do?
We can see at least what you're working on too. If you don't make it any bigger, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe just drag your window up a tiny bit. Or hang on, I'll shut off my icon. It's flashing. Sorry, I'm just thinking on the fly.
No,
here.
it's fine. It's fine. I just I'm just trying to show the 3D model of what I'm working on. And then I'm just gonna go back to the webcam anyway. But this is a 3D model of the parts that I've been 3D printing out.
Wow.
Just kind of a trial and error. I started just with the skull. And I'm like, okay, let me put these cups on here and see if the ping pong ball fits. Print them out. They're too far away from each other. So I print out some more that are a millimeter closer. Then now they're too close to each other. So then you do it in between and then print out another one. And it's like the little pockets that the ping pong balls fit into. You can see like the little stock up here at the top and down here at the bottom.
How many versions have you been printing out? My God.
Do what?
How many versions have you printed out?
Actual prints, like, about 10.
Wow.
10 or so. Because I will make a lot of changes and add things to it before I print one out. And then when all those parts get printed out, then I tweak them a little bit and tweak them and fix and adjust and then print another one out. But, there's a lot of changes that go. I've made 80 something main changes to it, because every time I make a specific change, make something longer, take something off, I increment the save files by another number. So I think this one's like 84 or 86 or something. But everything in here prints out except for those little blue things. Those are the little servos. I just actually measured them down to the millimeter and modeled them in ZBrush so they were the exact same length. So I can put them in there and say, okay, this is how big the slot for them needs to be. This is a shape that is the exact size of a servo. So I can use that to make the hole that they fit into. And now let me go back to
that is so cool.
My webcam.
That is.
You can kind of see the back of it here. I think I've got, my exposure shouldn't be too high. I've already got one of the servos in. You can see it just, fits right into the hole that I measured in the program for it. This is the mechanism that makes the eyelids or the eyeballs go left to right. And then there's a string that pulls this up and down with a little hoop in the middle that lets the left-right go while staying in the exact same vertical position. And then the string is controlled by a different servo that pulls the string up and down. And because it's got that little metal loop in the middle, it means that, it can slide freely. So then you can, make his eyes go around wherever you want him to go.
That is so cool.
Or just eye in this case.
Yeah, I laughed when Doug asked you, but when he was laughing at you for putting both eyes working when one's covered by a patch.
Yeah, I mean it's still under there and moves around and stuff.
Wow.
I just I thought about it. I was like, well, I could just do one, but he's the first template that I'm going to be making for all the other characters, so I need to go ahead and make it as if both eyes are there. Since like, I made the wolf puppet with the eye mechanism, and now when I go to make the fox one, I have to rethink all of this because I designed it entirely with just one eyeball in mind. So it's there and it works. It's just the hard part's going to be getting used to 4 fingers controlling 4 eyelids rather than just these 2.
It looks so amazing. You are so I don't know.
ADH Productions says he's so talented it should be legal.
Yes, exactly.
And just more skills coming up.
Yeah, I'm actually going to an elementary and a middle school day after tomorrow to give a talk on 3D printing and creating stuff and
Oh
I love that
wow.
you do that. And the
what
kids
you
are, oh
need.
my God, I can only picture how excited they are with that. It's,
Yeah, the teacher lady said that they actually have a 3D printer there and they use it all the time. So to have someone
Wow.
actually come in and show you how to use one and what kind of stuff you can do with it would probably be really cool.
oh yeah, there'll be a lot of happy young people there. A lot of happy. I wish I could
I
go
got
back to school for it.
Yeah, I've thought about it. I think I might, since I'm moving to Canada, I might actually go back to college just to take a French class or two.
Oh,
And 'cause I'm a firm believer of like if I move to another country where they don't speak my language, I would definitely at least want to be at like a 5-year-old speaking level, be able to find a bathroom or ask, how many tables at a restaurant or something like that.
yeah,
I want to be able to at least communicate on that level. And I think actually New Brunswick is the only official bilingual
that's
province.
right. Because
Is that right?
Quebec only has one language, is French.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. If that's they go against the Charter of Rights, actually, we'll not get into all that. But yeah,
Yeah,
we
because
only.
that's the first thing that I've read about the trying
Mhm.
to secede and everything. They're kind of like a French Georgia.
Yeah, yeah,
Geor-
yeah.
Georgia's always trying to secede from the rest of the United States.
It's pretty
But
much in the same boat on that one. Yeah.
yeah, everybody's always like, wait, why isn't Quebec? It was like, no, Quebec's only one language, but it's
Hmm.
French.
Yes, I
And they
mean,
have they have
I'm an
throwing
Ang-
hatchets in every bar.
I'm an Anglo that grew up in Quebec, and I had to speak French because even if you're an Anglo, you have to learn French.
Right.
And French do have to learn English, but it's very minimal compared to what we have to be almost certifiably bilingual by the time we come out.
Yeah. Greg's dad is actually Acadian French. I
Mm.
think I
Mm.
think his whole family on that side is.
Same as
Correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, if you're still in the chat. But yeah, I want to go to Quebec. I'd
it's
really like to obviously go see Montreal, but just see some of the upcountry too.
well right away. If you ever come here, you know where you got a home. We definitely want to hook up with you if you're here and that. Show you
Absolutely, I
Sure.
around and that.
appreciate it.
No, no,
And
our
I
pleasure.
just recently went through the getting into Canada ordeal, which must be a bit easier for a few from
If you don't mind
States.
me asking, how long was the wait after? Did you apply internally?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
how
problem.
long was the wait, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it was 10 months till I got
yeah.
permanent residency, and
No
then
kidding.
yeah,
Not even that long.
and citizenship I only got last year after living
You could
a
have you were
decade here.
eligible, but we
Yeah.
after
How
4
long
years.
did you have to live there to get your citizenship?
You have to have certain amount of days in a span of 3 years. Like if you travel abroad a
Really?
lot, you have to count
Mhm.
days. So we had to actually, put all our vacations out. I had to scratch them out as I haven't been here.
Right,
So
right.
you really got to be.
Like if we went to the
Keeping an
states
eye.
for
I
24.
appreciate this. This is
No.
stuff I
Oh,
I
ask.
need to know.
You can contact, get in touch with us anytime because
Yeah,
we
we've been
went
talking
through
to
that.
an immigration lawyer and everything because
Yes.
once the marriage stuff goes through, I'm probably going to be moving there sooner than later. I
Yeah.
love where I am. Worst case scenario, I live an hour away from St. John, but I would eventually like to get over there
Hmm.
if working over there on an art project would be a little bit better than
The we,
living an hour away over here, like taxes and stuff.
Well, we
The
also.
marriage thing's definitely happening, and,
yeah.
and moving to Canada eventually. I don't want to move over too quick before I look at what all the tax stuff is on because
Yes.
I'm self-employed. There's stuff where you have to continue to pay taxes in the United States,
Hmm.
Mhm.
even if you don't make your income there and all that. So it's a
Well,
whole bunch of that stuff I've got to look into
Canada,
before I
you'll
make
learn
a
about
plan.
taxes.
Yeah, but like we were mentioning at the beginning, Montreal is basically a capital of media, animation, and all
Mhm.
that in Canada. That's where it all started and kind of boomed up. Is right here. All the latest the games that are made from Canada are made here,
Yeah.
and so on. So yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, Montreal, Ubisoft Montreal,
Yep.
Volition in Toronto, and a
Mhm.
couple other places. There's a lot of the biggest Rockstar, I think, has one up there.
Have good night,
Some of the
Bowser.
best
Much
animation
love.
in the world comes out of Mexico and France now.
Hmm.
Like
Mhm.
they're a couple of the bigger countries that actually focus on and contribute money to traditionally animated productions.
Right.
There's one animator from France, Sylvain Chomet, did Triplets of Belleville, Illusionist, one or two other movies. Some of the most amazing traditional animation we'll probably ever see again.
Wow.
And like some of the best animated movies I've ever seen, like 2D, where you look at it and get kind of dizzy and sick because you're like, oh, how many people and how many hot, sweaty rooms and how many hours did it take to make just this one scene and
Mm.
things like that. And you just don't see that in the States anymore. You see
No.
it a little in Canada, and one or two people in the world, like that guy whoever's directing that Castlevania series, I straight up almost cried when I finished season 2 of that because I was so friggin' blown away by the effort that was put into that. That's another thing I wanted to say was, yeah, Castlevania, it's good. It's an anime that doesn't suck, and so much effort. And one of my buddies is friends with the director on that show, and he said that it was a rough job, and that he was pretty much the only dude in the entire country that was at the helm of a decent 2D animated project. And yeah, because like a lot of the other stuff over here is garbage.
Mm.
Sorry.
And you don't get me started talking crap about crappy animation. That is one thing that I love to go on about. And a lot of the time it has nothing to do with the actual animators. A lot of the time it's not that, I'm always want to err on the side of defending the actual animators. So if there's a crappy cartoon, I'll immediately go to, well, what about production? Did they push them to a deadline that they couldn't make? Was the guy an a-hole that ran the whole thing? And points like that. I try everything until it finally gets down to, well, no, I guess you're just a crappy animator. I will try to get to every other possible outcome before I will finally go to that. But there are indeed some very, very lazy people.
Yeah.
And what really gets me is when that you can see from their style that they have the ability and they know what they're doing, but they still do it lazy to get it out quicker.
Yeah,
A lot of YouTube animations are like that, but that's the market. That's the market. Some, Lady Gaga falls on stage and breaks her ankle and says a colorful, indecipherable swear salad, and someone's going to be like, oh my god, I got to make a flash cartoon about that, and they will run and try to make the quickest but balancing quality with efficiency, and getting that cartoon to get those subscribes and those likes as fast as they can because it just happened before anyone else can do their, whoa guys, so I saw this video. And yeah, that is one thing that having be doing this for so long, I've become a big stickler and also nerd stickler hybrid of animation geek.
But in YouTube in general, that was actually something we talked about last night in Tech Talk Tuesday, was a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon, their channels shifting all over the place, and they got a name, I don't know, Bob's Welding Emporium, and then for 2 weeks he was at this channel and at that channel, and he's running all over whatever's the hot thing of the day, they're all of a sudden that.
Yeah.
And it lowers the quality into it, and it kills your viewership. Nobody knows what you are, and they're kind of lost.
Yeah, it does. Pick a name and just do a variety of things. It's like if I do honestly though, I would say I could do this with my Fox in Space channel, even with the puppet stuff. But when I start to do my podcast show with my puppets and everything, I'm going to make that a completely different YouTube channel, because YouTube has already told me straight up, literally, that I cannot monetize my current 100,000 subscribers because my entire channel is about Star Fox.
Really?
So, yeah. I was talking about this on my stream earlier tonight.
Wow.
It's funny when there's entire channels that are, this whole channel is entirely about Minecraft. This whole channel is about Fortnite. This guy just makes cartoons about Five Nights at Freddy's and literally nothing else. And they're all monetized. So, and someone's like, well, are you sure there's not a video on your site that has like an MP3 that's copyrighted? I went through, I deleted all of my recorded streams, like 700 of them. A couple of the videos that got several 100,000 views because I did little puppets dancing to a Hall & Oates song. And because it's a Hall & Oates song, I'm like, I don't want to delete it, but okay, I'm deleting it. It's gone. There's nothing here. Wait another 30 days, applied again, waited 30 days for the response. And they said the same thing. It's like, oh, duplication. I was like, there's nothing there now. No, really, give me a serious human answer. What is it? It's like, they're like, well, your entire YouTube channel is based on a Nintendo franchise and blah blah blah. We're sorry,
It's because they're scared
in
of
case you take
Nintendo.
another direction.
Yeah, they're scared of Nintendo because Nintendo, the way they've been on here. But still, I mean,
Yeah.
YouTube has to start standing up for creators, and I think what you've done is extremely, extremely original.
Yeah,
creative.
and that's the thing. I didn't contest it. I didn't
Yeah.
get smarmy. I didn't insult anyone. I thanked the guy. I was like, well, thank you so much for getting back to me. Because the first time I tried to get a hold of someone, it was just form computerized response and then nothing.
Right.
And this time someone actually reached out and finally got a hold of me because I was complaining about it so
Well,
much. But they told me that's why. So if I do anything to get monetized and have my live stream or my podcast show on there on Saturdays, it's going to be a different channel.
well, that's amazing. I'm kind of thrown back. I missed that part because I was in for a little while, and then I was going out, like getting everything ready. And wow, that's surprising. I did not know that. So you kind of threw me for a loop on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. I've never made a dime from Google, YouTube, whatever it's called, and all of my money comes from my Patreon. If anyone wants to support me, they can. This is the thing. They can follow me on or subscribe to me on Twitch, and the $5 a month they give me, I get half of that. Or you can put $5 a month on my Patreon, and I'll get like $4.92 of that.
100%.
But until I can become, if on Twitch I become a partner instead of affiliate, which requires an average of 75 viewers a night or more, then I get 100% of that money. But until I get those kind of numbers every single stream, that I can only be an affiliate. So whatever money people give to me, I only get 50% of it. So if you want me to get 95% of the money that you want to support me with, do it over Patreon.
Right.
But don't I get nothing from YouTube, and I will never ever. You have my permission to watch my videos with an ad blocker on because I literally get nothing from them. They will not let me monetize.
I'm not laughing at
And
the
that's
scenario. Just what you said, and that's all. I'm so stunned by that. That really threw me back.
Wow.
I understand it though. That's the thing. I'm not sitting here going, "But why would they do this to me? It's not fair." No, I get it. Nintendo, it's all right. But there are other channels on YouTube that are entirely based on Nintendo franchises, and they still get their money. So, if I really fought it and whined about it, then I might get a reprieve. But why bother? So I can get an extra $20 a month from people having to watch ads on my videos. No, I'm good on that. If it works out for anyone else, if that's how you make your money, great. It's just I've tried this over and over and over several different times with Google AdSense and YouTube, and every single time they're like, no.
Yeah.
Is it Nintendo that is just very harsh on implementing their copyright? Yeah.
They're notorious for it. Yeah.
Didn't PewDiePie got a whole bunch of stuff?
Something happened with him regarding Nintendo or I think it was Nintendo. I'm not sure.
The thing is,
I know he got bumped over something.
The moment you use any Nintendo, gaming channels or anything, the moment you play them more than I think it's 3 seconds, they just basically they don't even profit share. They just take everything. That's their whole deal. They don't share it with anybody. They get the full proceeds. That's it, done. That's why nobody wanted to review it. And it's so weird when you have such a major franchise and they're always all these YouTube influencers are reviewing all of them. And YouTube, they just got to go, oh, this is the box and this is because they got no other choice. The moment they touch anything onto it, they're gone.
Or just have the audio of the game and blur the screen out. But what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
At that point, you're like, why even bother?
Yep. It's like they haven't jumped on board yet and realized the value into it. Maybe they were smart for doing it. I don't think so. But
yeah, the PewDiePie thing was that he was criticizing their new program with the sharing revenue, that all of the videos connected in anyhow has to be shared income.
Yeah, they're really weird about that stuff.
Yeah, it's
very strict.
And I mean, they're a corporate; they get to pull the strings. I mean, we got to accept what platform we're on, and like you say, we don't like it, but we know what's going on in the back. It's no secret, and it's getting harder.
And YouTube really is the epitome of a faceless corporation. There is no person that comes out and say, "Okay, this is what we're doing, everybody."
Yep.
It's just YouTube.
Yep. We had a video like when you're on tonight. Our thumbnail of you. What we used to do was every day we'd put that thumbnail up for 1 minute with that music we open with, and everybody knew what was coming. It was a great way to get people to, come in and set the reminder. And we had a couple people who didn't like us, so they kept marketing it as spam. And we lost our live streaming rights twice because of it. And finally, we're like, what are we doing wrong? We've read the guidelines. We're well in our rights. We're not sending anybody anywhere else.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like she said, yes, but if somebody doesn't like you, it's a very easy way to take you down because the AI looks at it right away and sees it as spam because it's a static image. You're right, but you're going to have to go through this every time somebody does it to you. Mm-hmm. So in the end, we let it go. It's too bad though because it was a great way.
It's like with the flagging stuff on YouTube. It's the same way.
I gotta get you to sit up a little bit more. We're losing you. We're getting the nose view. There we go. There we go. Gotta get your beautiful face in there.
I keep forgetting, like you've got a little thing on the lower part of my camera.
Because usually that's when we do our trial on mine. But then I'd already started the live stream because then I size it up because those two windows I like skim them down so you can't see them. So everybody had to watch me doing the editing thing. I love that.
That's whenever I do a laugh track. It's just like zippity ding, and just. It's
never had that one happen before. I love it.
That was unexpected.
Yes.
Usually there's a laugh track.
So how you feeling about going to Canada and that? I wanted to touch on it a little bit.
I'm excited. I love Canada. I've only been to New Brunswick. Well, I mean, I've been to Toronto and Montreal, but only at an airport flying through at a layover.
Right.
But I want to get out there. I want to go horseback riding in Alberta. I want to go ice fishing in a little shack. Nice. I want to go smelting.
Oh my God, you're talking my childhood. I can't stand.
Yeah, I want to like drill in a hole or just even river smelting or anything like that. I've always wanted to do that. I like to go fishing. I want to go skiing. I want to learn how to ice skate. I've always wanted to do ice and snow stuff, and I've never gotten the chance to do anything other than build a friggin' snowman. But I love Canada. Everyone has been really nice. It's weird. Greg and I can eat at a restaurant, and if he wants to put his hand on mine, or we can hold hands in a store or something and not be worried about it. I'm from Tennessee. You can't, you can, but your chances of not getting scuffed are not as good down there.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can talk and like, his family doesn't care. And we can talk about anything we want to talk about. And all of our friends are really nice. Everyone's just really, really friendly and welcoming. And I keep to myself anyway. I'm extremely conservative. I don't like to start any trouble, but sometimes New York or Tennessee or somewhere around, especially in the South, you go walking around, and it has nothing to do with who you're with or anything. It's just people will come up to you and, hey man, I'm trying to, and you're going to get that anywhere in any big city, but man, like smaller towns in Canada, like people, they'll just be. Worst that you get is just like, hey bud, you got a dollar or whatever, and you're just like, no, sorry, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
But man, people in Tennessee, I gotta tell you about that. I get random people camping out in my yard high on drugs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there was a guy that lived down the street, and he's paralyzed from the waist down, and he would come and just drive up in my yard in his motorized wheelchair and would just camp out by my window like 10 feet away from where I'm coming down the stairs in my underwear. I'm just like, hey, I can run upstairs, put some clothes on. We go like, can we help you? And he's like, hey, is Melissa there? Or was just the voices? And I'm just like, I call my landlord. I'm like, yeah, it's that guy again. He keeps coming over here. Can you, I was just worried about him. I wasn't threatened or anything. But,
but still.
But yeah, and then you got other people that come up knocking on your door at 3 a.m. trying to sell you a microwave, and it's just like, oh, geez, yeah. This is like up in the hills in Tennessee. I don't know if you've ever heard about OxyContin epidemics and stuff like that. It's just nice to get away from that part of town, and just coming up here, getting out of backwoods Tennessee where everybody's drunk or high on pills all the time, and then to this happy little maritime Canada town where everyone's super nice and welcomes you into their store, and they actually ask about you. It is. I'm not trying to just kiss ass about Canada.
No,
stuff.
I've heard you before you even knew I was from Canada.
It's legitimately a nicer, friendlier place, and it's more artistic. The only artists in my town where I was from did, tattoos or graffiti. And
Right.
not that there's anything wrong with tattoos or graffiti, but it's like I want to hang out with some animators. I want to meet somebody that does voice acting. Like we almost literally tripping over animators and voice actors walking around in St. John.
Right.
Met some people that from Knuckle Down Studios in St. John, New Brunswick, that they do all sorts of advertisement and 3D animation for commercials of companies and stuff. And ran into them, met them. Now that they're a couple of my best friends in the world, and we all go hang out. And sometimes I'll go hang out downtown, and just happen to be talking about voice acting next to some guy. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I used to be a voice actor on this show and this show, and here's my IMDb," and go look him up, and it's like that's him. That's his glamour shot, and these are the cartoons that he did. And got to meet Anthony Lemke.
Oh,
From Dark Matter, if you've ever seen that show, or you ever heard of Dark Matter?
Yeah, how did that happen to come about?
The Fundy Fan Fest. I don't know if you heard of the Fundy Fan Fest. It's it was a comic book convention that Greg and his friends at the store all put together. Kevin Smith was a guest there.
Oh, nice.
Anthony Lemke, Eric Avari, whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of famous, Canadian comic book artists, and really, really, really good time. Just a good time, and a good success, good turnout.
Wow.
Yeah, I just every single trip of mine to Canada has been wonderful, and I can't wait to go back and stay there longer.
I'd like to have you get through. Like I say, I really hope that we can get you to Montreal sometime. I'd like to.
If you all would have us, we would love to come by, because Greg and I, whenever he can get time off from work, we always want to go somewhere. He wants to go to Toronto. I want to go to Montreal. We want to go to Tokyo at some point.
That's awesome.
I told him, I was like, I don't want to go to Tokyo until I learn a little bit of Japanese, so I could not look like a doofus.
Well, I don't know if you heard saying at the beginning, Xenia and I, we met on a video game when she was in Latvia. And I was married and it was over, and we met on this game called Second Life, and we had this kind of back and forth through Skype, and then back then MSN Messenger and all these things. And we've traveled together all through Europe. I got to live with my dreams with her, all these places I got to see. And we got married in Iceland. We had a Viking wedding with an actual pagan priestess.
Yeah, I was listening earlier. That's badass. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was. I think we've always kind of gone to our own grain.
Yeah, we're always a little bit off the grid of the. A bit. Not.
I'll send you the link after you can see it. But yeah, it was just a little short snippet of it.
Yeah, because I came over here from Latvia. Which is like Northeast Europe. So yeah, for this guy here, we have been since more than a decade now we're together. But I've been in Canada for 10 years. Yeah.
See, in Quebec, it would have taken her over 3 years because her native language isn't French.
Yeah.
You could almost have a criminal record a mile long, but as long as you speak French, no problem, you're in. You bombs. Yes, exactly. You terrorists? Yeah. You speak French. Don't worry about it. We had to move to Saskatchewan because every province has their own quotas for immigration each year.
Right.
We
the states have that too.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Programs for mayors and stuff to get more grants and money, depending on how many people immigrate there from other countries and stuff.
See, some people will actually immigrate to the Yukon and Northwest Territories because they're so low on population they can actually bring their grandparents in right away because it's so in need of populating.
Right.
Make all these exceptions. So it was 3 years here, average in Quebec. It was 10 months in Saskatchewan because they needed people big time. And it was ridiculous because Xenia was 24. She spoke 3 languages fluently. She has a degree in psychology. I think she might want to learn French, but they don't look at it that way.
So we moved to Saskatchewan where it's minus 50 in winter for 2 years.
Celsius, yeah.
To get that done.
I left the music company and I was actually working in the oil. I went back to truck driving there, hauling crude oil, and I've seen salt water frozen for hours, like literally 6 hours.
That's terrifying. It's like when you can do the thing where you throw the pot of water in the air and it just turns into snow instantly.
Pretty much.
So Saskatchewan pretty in the summer, but I wouldn't be moving there. Visiting, but not moving.
And we were in the flattest part. We were like living in the ocean. It was just alfalfa and whatever you call it for miles.
That's over there to the right of Alberta, right?
Yep, that's
to the right.
one. Yeah, just over North Dakota. Share the
That's
same
what I want to do. I
property.
want to go somewhere where I can legitimately and vividly see the northern lights. I want to go up the trails in Alberta at
Mm,
some point. So
Mm.
it's
the
beautiful.
snow stuff, I want to get all the frozen snow and ice stuff out of the way first, and then when I want to go across one
Uh,
and just drive. Black flies be damned, and just have a good time. Maybe not go in the spring right when the snow's melting, but
yeah,
wait till summer or just in the middle of winter and just take a big 8-wheel ATV
September
truck.
is a great time. September is an amazing time because everybody's gone back to school. The rates go
Mm,
down, and it's still nice in most places. Early
not too many
September.
black flies,
No,
hopefully.
it gets rid of some of them because that's awful.
Yeah, not
You
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't want to get that part of the tour. Everybody's been enjoying it, and I mean, it's nice to have our community and your community. I'm always happy when I
Absolutely.
see that. I love that kind of stuff. You
I
know.
hope I've been talking enough.
Oh my.
Oh my
I'm
God.
always afraid I never have enough stuff to talk about.
Oh, if you
Oh.
got do you have a little bit more time for us?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I'm not in any big
Yeah.
hurry.
Well, that's great. No, if we want to talk a little bit more, I told you we'll find lots of things to talk about. Not to worry. We're kind
For
of yappy
sure.
that way, so we can get people in pretty much. And but
Right, right.
I love hearing about people. So this is right up our alley. And anytime we have, and sometimes it's a channel with 400 subscribers, and they have these incredible stories. We always say, don't like Juliet Miranda, the girl that lived their life like almost famous. She's one of the top 200 podcasters on iTunes, but here she only had what 180 or 200 something
Yeah,
Yeah.
subscribers.
that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
YouTube, if my goal on YouTube is not. I don't want 1 million subscribers. A
Mm,
couple 100,000, sure, that's fine. I want my chat room to still be a chat room, not just
yeah,
like the
exactly.
ninja guy on Twitch or whatever. Have you ever seen? Or just
Yeah.
PewDiePie or whoever, when those super like top tier 1%er YouTubes do a stream
Yeah,
and they have the chat room up and it just looks like one of those analog stopwatch things that's
I
just,
I don't
or
know if
like
you.
the smallest number
Yeah,
increment on a gas pump that's just
they're even talking and nobody even notices. Even on slow mode, it doesn't matter. It's
yeah, yeah,
lost
it
in the
doesn't
mix.
matter. It's oh, so now it's 17,000 people can only post one message every 60 seconds. Great, problem solved.
Well, I was telling my friend about
uh,
one channel called Linus Tech Tips. He's a Canadian and he built it from nothing, and he's got 7 million subscribers. He's actually got 27 employees now.
I know Linus Tech Tips.
Oh,
I've watched videos of that dude's.
yeah,
He's on here.
yeah. He's from
Nice.
British Columbia. Yeah, and he was with
Yeah,
a
I know
computer
Linus. I
company.
think I actually watched one of his videos on something once, like for a specific. I don't remember it, but I've definitely heard of Linus Tech Tips. I know that's a very very big channel.
And he's got three now. He's got one that's almost, I think, 3 million now. One that's 7.2
That's
million. Another
awesome.
one. And he does have integrity. I like what he does. He's stuck to what he wants to do with it. But when you do a live stream on your phone, there's no tags, no nothing. That's where you always get your lowest subscribers. That on
Yeah,
the spot.
yeah.
I called my friend on Hangouts. He's an older guy. I said, "You got to check this out. You want to see a live stream?" He goes on his phone to do a surprise video of an unboxing. Nobody knows he's coming. It's on his phone, so there's no tags, no nothing. 44,000 people in there.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Somebody gave like $100 super chat and it just disappeared. Like.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what I see a lot of the people on the famous YouTuber people. They'll just get on and be like, "Hey, I'll read your super chats out loud," and they make like $80 in 60
It's
seconds
unbelievable.
reading 10
I've added
messages.
them up like
Crazy.
$8,000 in the span of like 25 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, and once you get over a certain level on YouTube, it just gets exponential.
Yeah.
Like I was saying the other night, it took me almost a year to get that last 5,000 subscribers from 95,000 to 100,000, and then the second I hit 100,000, like a month later, it went straight up 105,000, just 5K, just like that. I didn't even put any more videos up. It just
Yep. Because
and
you're
it's
getting
still
pushed
going
more.
up.
The algorithm's favoring you.
Yeah,
You've gone into another tier.
Yeah.
You know.
Mark, we
Yeah.
need the algorithm.
Can I ask how you
That's
met?
how it works.
Can I ask how you met Doug?
Through Reagan Lodge.
Yep.
His friend Reagan. Reagan has been a close friend of mine for like 15 years. Like
Yes.
we've kept up for a long time, and he was in one of my streams about 2 months ago, and I was talking about Sock Baby, I don't know if you've seen Sock Baby.
I don't. I've heard them talking about it.
It's one of Doug TenNapel's movies he made with his
Yeah.
buddies like 15 years ago, and it's my favorite internet video of all time ever. And I was giving drooly, blubbering praise for the Sock Baby Chronicles, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm actually really good friends with Doug TenNapel. You should let me get you to get on his show at some point." You know, and he told me how, you know, he when he was moving from Virginia to California or whatever, he stayed at Doug's house for a couple of days, and that, you know, just while he got his stuff together to move on to California, and they hung out, and he was a really cool dude.
He is.
I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And you know, the first time I talked to him on Twitter, he's like, "Hey Matthew, I've seen your stuff, Fox in Space. It's great, and you know, we'll get you on the show at some point." I'm just like, you're Earthworm Jim guy. Oh my, you know, I'd like to think I held it together a little better than that, but that's what it felt like. And now he's just like, "Man, I'm glad I met you, and you're a good friend, and I love having you on the show, and you always bring a good vibe in." I'm just like, "Oh," and yeah, he really is. He really is a great guy.
Yeah. If anybody here hasn't seen the interview we did with him, it was absolutely phenomenal.
I watched some of it. I think I was actually there for some of it because he's the one that told me. He's like, "Hey, I'm going over on Pusa Studios thing."
That's right. He's so cool like that, you know? And I
So
love
down
how
to earth, yeah.
down to earth, like when I wanted to get in touch with you because I lost your email, and it's just easier with Twitter. I laughed
So
when I seen they
funny.
made the room there.
That was so funny.
I asked Doug to get
Yeah,
us
it's
together
fun.
so we could do this, and literally he's got so much on his plate right now. And within 10 minutes, he got a room, and he goes, "There, guys, I did the introductions. Go make a video, kids." He's just such a dope.
yeah. Oh, that was good.
And I appreciate.
And I'm sorry that when I was on there asking, and I was like, "Is that time okay with you, Doug?" That might have confused you. I thought that we were both. I thought we were both on the show, and that was like our group call. So when I was asking Doug, it's not like, you know, he's my sugar daddy or something. "Can I go on his stream at that time, Doug?" And I went back and read that. I was like, "Wait, I'm the only one that's going to be on there." He's going to look at that and go like, "Wait, why does he need Doug's permission?" I just wanted to clear that up now that I thought about it. I was like, I thought that we were both on the show. I was like, "Is he going to be here at that?"
Not a problem. I figured right away. Yeah, Doug has given his blessing. It's all good.
Oh man.
But he's so approachable like that. Like, and how I got to talk to him was in one of his streams. Anybody who doesn't know him, he's pitched to Steven Spielberg, creator of Earthworm Jim, and he's executive producer in his own CBS
Cat
series.
Scratch, a
Yeah.
million other comics and cartoons.
Where
and
do you even
things.
begin with a list with him? And at the end, he opens up his live stream. He just throws the Hangouts in there. Like, he throws his Hangouts on Twitter. Like, I almost went into cardiac arrest when he told me that. He goes, "Yeah, I know, but I don't want to be like that." And he just invites all these artists to come up with him and talk. And that is so cool, I find. I love that attitude. So renegade and so caring at the same time. Yeah, so I think we both gush over Doug a little. So.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's like the dude from The Big Lebowski if he went to
Oh,
church.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I never even thought about that.
Never
That's
even
so
crossed my
precise.
mind.
Yes.
You nailed
Yes.
He's like a Christian dude, pretty much.
He is.
That's all right with me.
And he's very strong in his beliefs. He also likes a decent debate. And you're not going to change his views, but he'll appreciate what you bring to the table as long as
Yeah,
it's got.
that's the thing I got. That you know, I get all the people like, "Oh, he's a homophobe and he doesn't like gay people and blah blah." It's like he invited me and Greg over to his house, introduced us to his wife and his children, took us out to eat, paid for it, showed us his koi pond and all of his stuff in his workroom, and talked to us. You know, told us to come back, invited me. You know, said like, "I've got a guest bedroom and a guest bathroom and everything. If y'all ever drive through and want to come stay out here again for a couple of days." And then someone online after all of that is like, "Oh, he doesn't like gay people, and he's gonna get you to his house and sabotage you," and blah. It's like, all right, dude, whatever. No, people don't have to agree with me on anything. I have people that work on my cartoon who are atheists, who are Christians, who are gay, trans, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. None of that stuff matters to me about anything.
Yeah.
If you're a nice person, I just want to know, are you kind?
Yeah.
Are you a good person? And you know, try not to get any attention or get people in trouble, and just be nice. None of that other stuff matters to me at all, period.
A friend of ours
Political
that's on here,
opinions
he
or
had come
anything.
out last year, and we didn't know that. And then when he mentioned it, I didn't know that he was gay at the time, and he told us, and he said, "Oh, now you're gonna." He didn't mean it in a bad way. We're very good friends. And he said, "Oh," he said, "now when the camera goes off, you're gonna look at Xavier." He said, "I can't believe he's gay," and I'm like, "Well, we kind of live, in Montreal, especially. I mean, it's been for so many years. I wouldn't." I'd feel kind of goofy even bringing it up. I don't see it as, oh, there's what's his name, the gay person, and the same as I
Who
don't say, oh, there's
happens
the
to be
heterosexual
Well,
person.
it not
Exactly.
it doesn't really matter at the end.
You're a
no,
person,
it's-
you know?
I'm like I've said on Doug's thing. I'm actually really conservative about that stuff. I don't like to advertise it. I don't want people to look at me and go, oh, he must be gay, or
Yeah.
oh, he must be this or that. I don't make it anybody's business. I know some people, even if they're supportive of it, some extended discussion of it might make them feel uncomfortable. There's a million other subjects in the world that fit that same
Yes.
descriptor, and I don't force anything on anybody. I don't like to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just I don't care about talking about it.
Yeah.
It's not an issue for me. And some people aren't like that. Some people would disagree, and they have to get it out there and let people know before they meet them, because they've dealt with so many people that have
Yes.
treated them like crap, that they're just like, look, I want to tell you this about me. I'm this. Do you have any problem with that? And
Right.
sometimes that comes off as a little offstandish and imposing, but I get why people do that sometimes, because they've been burnt so badly. But me, on like burning or no, I just keep it to myself. And if someone meets us, I'm just like, yeah, my fiance is coming to visit. I'm like, oh, cool. And if they're like, what's her name? Then I'm just like, Gregory. And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Just like at the border, every single time I would go to Canada and drive over the border, they're like, and who are you going to see? My fiance. And what's her name? Gregory. And then immediately they're just like, oh, terribly sorry, sir. And how long are you going to be staying with Gregory? And I do it every time. I know.
I can tell right by the look in your eye. It's a great thing to have a little fun with.
It is, and every single time they're always like, "Oh, terribly sorry," blah blah. It's like, I don't care, dude. I was kind of hoping this would happen because it's fun every time. But yeah, but then there's people that'll get their undies in a twist and be like, "Oh, well, they went through and they automatically assumed that my fiance was a girl," like I said, I'm stuff like that just whizzes by, and it doesn't bother me, because why bother? Why waste the energy?
100%.
I'm 35. I'm too old to get upset over random strangers that misinterpret something about my life.
He's saying that he's getting it on the other way too, I guess.
Yeah. How did you guys meet?
Through my cartoon, actually. It was on one of my live streams. He joined my Discord. I have a Discord. Do you know what Discord is?
Yeah, we have one as well, yeah.
Okay, cool. You'll have to pop me a link to that. And
Our 12-year-old son
hang
takes
out.
care of it because we can't take care of it anymore.
Yeah,
and couldn't learn anything
because
else.
I seen in one of your chats somebody was asking Discord, but I couldn't find it. I'm like, find it. I don't know where to find it. So my son's
for
sitting
mine,
there.
you have to. On mine, you have to type in a thing that scrolls by on my stream, the invite link, the code, like Discord invite / whatever.
Yeah. Well,
And then you have to go into a chat room called Newcomers and read the instructions, and it tells you to paste a certain thing in a certain place. And until you do all that, you can't talk on the server, because we get so many bots and stuff coming in, people
Of
just
course.
posting disgusting porn pictures
Yeah.
and over and over until they get banned, or saying just coming in the voice chat and yelling racial slurs until they get banned. Typical Twitch stream prankster stuff. And it cuts down on it when you have that extra human step that you have to take.
3 12-year-olds giggling to themselves as they paste it.
And it's like they come in and do damage for 5 seconds, and 2 seconds later you click a thing and they're gone. And if they want to do it again, they have to go make another email, make another account, come back in, go through the thing again. And if they're on the same IP address and you've banned it, then it'll automatically, even if they get a new name, it'll be like, oh, this is the same IP address, you're still banned.
Right. Yeah. It's a
I was going to tell you, I get the wrench thing. I want to assume you guys have looked up how the wrenches work on YouTube, and no one's going to be able to sabotage and de-wrench everyone else and all that stuff. I get it. I get why you're doing it. It's a cool idea. I just wanted to make sure, because I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Well, the point was,
I assume mods can't demod other mods, I guess.
Yes and no, but it kind of,
in general.
Yeah, but we've had kind of it was a philosophy we built. Long story short, we felt like a lot of the mods were starting to have this kind of hierarchy, like, oh well,
Oh yeah, no, that happens. That happens,
everywhere.
and it happens on my server anywhere. Someone like gets demodded, and they're like, it's
Mhm.
like it's because you're never here anymore, dude. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I thought we weren't friends or something. It's
Yeah.
like, no, it's just, yeah, it is. And even if people say that they don't look at it differently, they still will.
They
It's like a
do.
subconscious
It
thing.
does. And they would like even have the argument, like, I hate it when the mods would say stuff like, all right, we're going to talk, go check the mod Twitter. We're going to talk about it there. Like this kind of levels of
Yeah,
hierarchy.
yeah.
So we were kind of like the
Cool
punk
kids
rock of life.
treehouse.
Yes, we were like the punk rocks of it. We did anti-establishment. Guess what, guys? Wrenches forever. I went on a tangent one night after an argument, and I literally, she's looking at me with big eyes, and I'm like, wrenches for all, wrenches for all. I'm literally yelling.
He's trying to be opera at that point.
Yeah. Look under your seat. It's a wrench. Like that. It was literally a tangent gone wrong. So, and it just.
I wanted the Prius.
Oh God! Don't tell them that. They'll be hitting me up for months for one. So we just started giving out wrenches. And then Xenia wanted to take selfies. She was saying, she's a photographer, but she's not good at selfies. And then we started calling it the Blue Wrench Group. So we said, why don't you take a selfie of you watching us and put it to our link on Twitter using the hashtag Blue Wrench Group. And we always said, we made a joke because some clubs, you got to have this and that to join. We said, don't worry, we're not Costco. There's no membership here, just YouTubers. So it was all kind of anti-establishment things that we were doing.
Yeah.
But it works out good, and God help. Like somebody will come in.
If you have a tight community, then it's a good message to get across.
And once in a while, like tonight, you have somebody comes in and says, 10 subs away, sub me. I don't want that. We'll remove it. But I tell people, don't ban them right away. They just jump the gun, give them a chance to see if they fit in. Because we've had some trolls that became our best followers.
Yeah, you'll get people like, hey guys, just good, check out my SoundCloud for my mixtape, and I don't bother with those. It's like if they stay there and keep spamming it, then they're out of here. But they come in, it's like, okay, you posted your thing, but maybe okay, everybody check out my. Oh, hey, the stream's actually pretty neat.
Yeah,
you will have that happen sometime.
And we've had them lost.
I've had people come in and call me nasty things, like, you stupid furry, whatever person, what are you doing? And then they hang out and they're like, this is actually kind of cool.
Yes.
I have that happen quite a bit. People come in trying to, like, oh, this is furry garbage, and then they sit and watch and like, actually, this isn't so bad.
That's a good victory, though.
Good friends.
That's a really good victory.
That's why when people come in and then they say all that stuff like, oh, this is stupid Star Fox, blah blah blah. I don't kick anybody out. I just say like, oh, well, it's just this, and it's not any creepy, weird, perverted stuff. It's just a cartoon I'm making because I liked the game when I was a kid, and 9 out of 10 times that person will actually stick around and be like, all right, I'll let it slide for now, and then after a couple hours they're like, actually, you've made me laugh a whole bunch, and this is actually really cool. I'm going to be back next time.
And they even bring friends sometimes. The friends that they're going around and trolling other channels, they actually come and listen to you as well. Like or they'll get out of control, and the other guy that first came and be like, whoa, relax, this is a good channel, stop it.
Yeah.
And if somebody gets out of control, you should see what 120 wrenches look like timing somebody out. It's like machine gun fire. I'll get a list.
That's my main rule of that is like the number one rule of trolling anyway. Like if someone comes in and does, like I had that happen a week or so ago. Someone joined the server and played it off like everything was cool, and then they got in the voice chat and just went inward until someone got around and clicked them and kicked them off, and no one reacted to it. No one in the voice chat. Like someone was starting to like, oh my God. And I messaged her. I was like, don't react. Just, and we just, it was like, 2 seconds later, it was like it never happened.
Yep.
No one brought it up again. And that's what I always tell people. If you have people adminning for you, anytime something like that happens, just swiftly take care of it, and then don't even pretend like it never even happened.
That's right.
And that is the biggest disappointment to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
When you start doing I'm outraged and I never, I can't believe it. Like, you are a walking example of why they do what they do.
Of course. No, every bully, every idiot enjoys an audience. When you take the audience away from them and don't give them the reaction they're hoping for, it's a crushing defeat. I truly believe that. And the last thing we have with the Blue Wrenches is we have this expression, it's kind of like a clean city initiative. When you give everybody a stake into it, nobody wants to see their city looking bad. So if we're busy talking to you, right away you'll notice that some people have started posting your links, or our links, or our merch links on our Twitter. We don't ask them to. They just kind of jump to the cause. Okay, they're talking, we're going to do it for them. And I love that. That makes it feel like that community, that We did a
Yeah,
video
that's
last
what I
week.
want. Like I was telling Doug the other night, he gets more people watching his stream than I do, and he only has like 4 or 5 thousand
Yeah,
subscribers, but his community is a lot tighter right now.
yeah,
That's what I want. Like I've got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, but if I actually went on there saying like, "Hey, I need your help," something, something, or whatever, the overwhelming majority of those people are just random people watching on their phone, and they might not even get the message. But over on Twitch, uh, it's a bit smaller of a number, but a greater
yeah.
percentage of that number is there every day, all the time, and subscribing, and and especially on Discord. Discord is my tightest community of all of them. That and Patreon, and those are like because Discord and Patreon are the smallest groups, but that's what it is. You may have a smaller group, but if you've been around a long time and you have a lot of history with people, those small groups are, you know, something happens in your house or there's an emergency or something and you need help or money or something like that or a favor or somewhere to stay. Those are the people that are going to be, overflowing by the dozens to be like, hey, what do you need? I can help you.
Yeah, that's
You know,
right. And
that's what I dig.
And even in your Twitch tonight, I felt it more. I felt the community. I could see it right away as people were welcoming when I came in, because I was new. I seen how people were kind of, I could feel that community right away into it. So I think I think you're a very easy person to gravitate to. And I think once your audience really gets to know you, I think it's a very easy sell for them to get loyal.
If I could sum myself up for somebody coming in, I'm a little rough around the edges. I'm slightly offensive, but I will never go out of my way to directly hurt anyone's feelings. I do ask that people have just a little tiny bit of a backbone and a little bit of an extra layer of skin, because if we get a little racy and perverted and like nothing really past a hard PG-13 unless we're all drunk and it's like 3 in the morning and we talk about some perverted jokes or something. But like no racism or homophobia or like any edgy crap like that. But we'll get a little into stuff that might be considered a little racy for a PG-13 movie or a really weak R-rated movie, but it never gets past anything like that. I never want to hurt anyone's feelings. If I ever say something that genuinely offends somebody and it's not, just someone being a whiny baby, I will genuinely apologize. I never want anyone to feel alienated or unwelcome. But that's what you'll notice me saying a lot of, like, I'm really nice and I'll do anything for anybody, but you've got to meet me halfway with not being a whiny baby weakling boohoo head. And we'll get people like, well, nobody's talking to me. Guess I better leave. Slash me walks away slowly.
So
People
awesome.
actually like doing the RP thing, like asterisk walks away slowly, looks over his shoulder one last time, dot, dot, dot. Like that kind of people, get the hell out. We don't want you here. That's wine baby. Like, oh, what? You're 27 and you're acting like that? Yeah, especially get out of here. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, I thought maybe I could find a girlfriend. And I hope that Fred or Matt doesn't mind me, perusing. Yeah, it's always some creepy person trying to find a girlfriend on a Discord server. Well, you like the same YouTube cartoons I do. Can we get married? Yeah, it's this big spectrum of people of just, boo-hoo, feel bad for me, or I don't like this place, or no one's paying attention to me. People that'll join your server and try to be Norm from Cheers. Like, I want to be that guy that when I walk in, everyone goes, hey, it's that guy. And I go blippity blorp, and they're like, that's his catchphrase. And, it's just like, that's not this isn't that kind of community, and you're not going to make friends here coming in trying to be like
your
the
voices are so awesome. So your natural voice, should be doing like movie previews. I've thought that before. Yeah, it's
coming this summer. Or you did that. That's the used car salesman chorus effect. $1.99 a month, where the freeways meet in Downey. I should do the used car commercials.
Oh my god.
We actually we had a great comment on your voice. Silver Golbot said his voice is like a meadow full of lavender.
Oh my, thank you.
That was at the beginning of the stream, yeah. So
No, you have a great like radio voice. You could easily,
yeah.
yeah, voiceover work, stuff like that, like right away. Even with, forget even all the other voices you can do. Just yours alone on itself. Tons of merit.
I've done a couple of video game voices. I've voice acted for a couple Xbox games and computer games.
Oh.
I every now and then a couple of my friends who cast people for video games and stuff, they'll get a hold of me and ask me if I want to try an audition for something. I don't always get them. Most of the things that I've auditioned for in voice acting, I haven't got. Probably, if I audition for 20 things, I might get 2 of them.
Really?
Usually, probably 1. I don't try that often though. I'm so busy on my own thing. A lot of the time, people ask me. Most of the time, when some random person or an animator or somebody comes up and asks me, "Oh, can you do a voice for a thing I'm doing for school or whatever?" They just want it to be my Wolf O'Donnell voice or
Really?
Fox. They're like, "Oh, this character, he's pretty much your Fox McCloud." So I'm like, eh. And they're like, "Oh, this character, he's pretty much exactly your Wolf O'Donnell, but a human. So if you could just do your Wolf O'Donnell voice," and I'm just like, eh. I don't know. I'm more interested in getting other people to voice act in my thing rather than me voice acting for other people's stuff.
Down
But
the
I
rabbit
don't-
hole
I don't do
travel
what-
said that you sound like a Call of Duty soldier voice, you know?
To the left. Get down.
Ramirez, fry that satellite dish with letters from home. Oh, Call of Duty. There's another one of those coming out, isn't there?
Thank you, Mars. Thank you, Patrick. We've been getting super chats. We got so got caught up in the conversation.
Well, I've been writing them down to
Okay,
thank
thank you.
them all.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has been and yeah, you got a lot of questions. I guess we should.
Well,
get a-
no, it's okay. Yeah, it's all good.
Oh,
most
questions?
of the comments.
Oh,
no
we've
for
been
me?
getting them. Yeah, the whole night they've been
Oh
pouring
gosh.
in.
Somebody sent you 5 pounds.
That is so
That's
cool.
more than $5. That's a lot more than Canadian
That's
$5.
right. You said it.
Yeah, and it's his second contribution, by the way,
Yes.
tonight. So thank you so much.
And Mars from Australia, thank you so much. 5 Australian dollars. I appreciate it with the dancing. Mars is famous for putting on his tutu. He's an Australian guy that's a drone guy that got a great tutu video.
Right on. Australia, that's another place I want to visit.
Me too. We've done Iceland, we've done all the way down. I want to do there, and I really want to do New Zealand as well. I know we were talking the other night. I know New Zealand, I told him New Zealand and Australia is kind of like Canada and the U.S. I look at New Zealand as kind of that wacky outside Canadian part. You know, we're kind of just to the beat of our own drum. And our
I look at them as a big brother and a little brother that make fun of each other all the time. But if some other person comes over and makes fun of the little brother, the big brother will be like, "Hey, get out of here," you know.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always saw Australia and New Zealand as a big and little sibling.
Yeah. Well, even Canada. I mean, we're a big country, but that's kind of the the cohesive. I don't know the word I'm trying to think of right now between Canada and the U.S.
Who is a parasite?
We always take it. We're always apologetic. We always take the low side. Don't want to make nobody feel bad. We're the parasite. We'll take that one. But I think we've always been there together. There's that kind of the camaraderie between us when it's said and done. But yeah, I mean, even though we're bigger in landmass, I always tell people they're shocked. You got to look at it that way. The whole population of Canada is equal to California. One state equals all of Canada.
Yeah, just this little.
That's right, 75% of us. Now that it's getting warmer, we might be moving more north later on, but for now.
I want to get an ATV and get up there in none of it.
Oh,
point.
yeah, me too. Yeah. Mhm.
Just like the extra hard difficulty.
Yeah. Oh, there, Mars put up his video of him in his maid's outfit dancing on a pole. He's Australian as they get. Quirky and drone guy and dancing in a maid suit. What can I say? His wife, when he's on live streams, is always like this halfway through.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. We did drag the other day. I was in drag the other day for Halloween. We never did anything like that before. And we did, yeah, that was interesting with my beard. And my eyes got glued shut because then you put those big eyelashes on. and
Oh Lord.
my eye got kind of half glued, and I couldn't wear my glasses with it, so I'm like, I'm blind as a bat, people.
Who are you going as, or are you just going in drag?
If
Or
it
is there
ever looks like somebody, God help them. I'm gonna take abstract on that one.
you have like the red eyelashes and the blue beard?
Oh yeah, I
and
had
the-
pink hair.
No,
I,
his
shit
own
makeup.
beard. His own beard, but
yeah, big eyelashes, pink hair, lots of blush.
Right on.
Yeah, I was a hottie.
It was interesting. I wanted to today's special minis was saying a good point. We have, I don't know if you're familiar. There's this gamer called Nightshame, and he has a voice like of a Norwegian pilot, but born in Britain, although he has nothing to do with either of these countries. And today's special mini said that we should connect you guys both for one of your projects, because we always tell him that he should do a voiceover as well.
What is
Yeah.
it for?
He's no, he's a gamer. He's a friend of ours. He's been growing pretty quickly. He's hitting 8,000, and we had him on our show. You can actually go back and look up Nightshame. You'll see what he looks like. But when you hear him talk, he sounds like a Norwegian pilot in his 50s from England.
Yeah.
He has this very distinct voice, but it ends up he's a 20-year-old kid from Oregon. And you go into his channels, it's like,
Oh, I see his.
so nice to see
He's
you.
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
on
gotta hear
Twitter.
his voice. He streams every
Yeah.
night as well, and it's
Yeah,
just
send me a link to one. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
nobody can place his face to how he actually sounds like. It's just so different.
We were one of the first ones to ever see what he looked like. We couldn't get the interview to work because we used Zoom and he needed it, and we couldn't get it to work with Hangouts.
Yeah, everybody's asking if he's using voice changers like steady almost every stream.
Yeah, he's
No, that's me.
this is not his real voice. I love
my God.
that.
I'll have to recalibrate this thing at some point and put some more stuff. I've got a boo. I've got a couple different laugh tracks. Got the cute puppy dog, and then just auto tune and all these other effects and things.
Oh
I'll have
my
I
to
like how you
God.
figure
incorporate
it out
them.
there. I'll have to show you how to set it up. Doug wants
Definitely.
me to.
It's such a toy here. Oh my God! Ever since he got that mixer, it never stops.
Yeah, you
Even
know,
when-
you've got the one. You've got one that puts on the reverb and stuff when you're
Yeah.
reading all the things, right?
Yeah.
How do you do that? You just have it through an effects pedal, or?
No, I bought a 8-channel Mackie mixer because I want to run my guitars and everything through it.
Oh, right on.
But then when we do our channel shoutout nights, it's hello, and I'm doing all this stuff, and then I try to jazz it up and put in the echoes and everything else and that. But I need a modulator. I definitely need a modulator.
Sometimes he
Yeah,
still
so-
uses it when we are not live, like just an everyday.
If you
life.
want, I'll show you. This is my workstation here. Basically, my headset microphone goes. It's an XLR.
Oh, it's an
so-
XLR one.
Yeah, it goes into this audio interface here
Yep.
as the mic in. This is literally it here, and it goes from the output of this computer. I use FL Studio. If you ever heard of Fruity Loops.
That's what you're using.
Mm,
So I've got this little MIDI keyboard that has all the the different effects and things on it depending on which key I hold down. I've got all that programmed in FL. And so basically it's me talking to the interface going through FL Studio with all the effects, and then out through the headphone out into the input of my main audio interface that goes to my work computer. So this little laptop over here, all it's doing is my audio effects and processing for recording. So that's how I can do all the effects and have them, play through live and come through on here and still have it be a separate microphone than
Wow.
the desktop sound that's coming through on here.
That is so cool. That MIDI
Wow.
controller I gotta get.
Basically 2 interfaces and FL Studio.
I love it. Oh, we gotta
A
get you
lot
down
of
a bit.
weird
Yeah.
chords.
we're just there. You go. There he is.
That's some serious specs must be to carry on all the 3D animation stuff and the audio and everything.
You need 3 screens. I could never go back to one screen. I took my laptop with me when I went on vacation and was working while I was out on just my laptop, and I keep looking to the sides for the other 2 monitors. I can't go back now. Especially like just working, it's different, but when you're streaming, so you have to have the chat room over here and your Discord and what you're working on and the webcams, so you can see what's streaming and all that. You have to have at least 2 screens.
Definitely.
I couldn't do all this on one anymore.
See, I got a 32-inch Aces, but I want to give that to Xenia. I've been holding off because I'm waiting for the Black Friday sales. I want to get the 38-inch
My
LG.
computer's on its way out. It's starting to restart on its own whenever I'm doing too much stuff on it
Ooh.
and dying out. But I've got almost $1,000 saved up, and next month I'll have about that much more.
Nice.
And like what you said, I have all the parts ready to buy. I'm just waiting until Black Friday to see if any of them go down.
Yep, it's definitely worth it. If you're that close to it, might as well wait and see. You know, if you can save 20% even onto it, it's worth it. So I built this computer here. I don't know if you can see it. You can see I built it mini because in case we go to Europe, I want to take it with me. But this is my editing station. I put a Ryzen 8-core 16-thread 2700X. I got
I think you're holding the wrong webcam.
Oh yeah, you can't see it. They can. Sorry, I got two webcams going. Sorry, I forgot about that. There.
Oh, I've got the stream up. Okay, I see. I'm looking at the stream now. But yeah, that's it.
And that one, it's got a 1080 Ti into it. It's got 32 gig of RAM. I put an M.2 500 gig and a 1 terabyte SSD. It was built for it. It cost me $3,000 Canadian. That's exactly what it cost me plus tax.
That sounds about right. The setup I've got is about 2,300 US.
Yep, exactly.
I'm not trying to get the processor that's 5% better but costs $800 more.
Yeah.
Well, like for processor, after you get to about $300 something, maybe 400. Once you start paying more for a processor, at that point, it's diminishing returns.
That's why I went with Ryzen, like the 8-core 16-thread.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, they said, well, the Intel, blah blah blah, you get 7% more. Well, you also pay
I think
$900
the
more.
AMD one, the Ryzen thingy.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that I've actually got ordered. I'm not getting the Intel one this time. I'm trying AMD. Do you recommend them?
Oh yeah, big time. I'll give you an example. One video I did, our Cheers video. I'll send you to a link later on. It took me 20 minutes on my other computer. This one took about 45 seconds, and it was rendered like 2 minutes.
Yeah. That's my thing. Getting into Blender, I've got to set up all these computers as a render farm now.
When you're in Blender, you need every bit you can grab your hands on too.
Absolutely.
So. But do you liking it though? You said.
Yeah. You use it for stuff.
Yeah, I've dabbled in it, but there's just not enough hours. Like we're
making trims for Second Life.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
There's actually a lady that I met here doing one of the talks at the school that she used to do that for a living. She made, I guess they're called prims.
Yes,
that's toys right. or whatever, like toys, prims, like objects, things for Second Life creators and stuff. And she said that there was a lot of money in that at one point.
It was so bizarre.
I'm sure it still is, but I mean, I've never been on there before.
I liked it, but I could see how people could lose themselves in it. And,
yeah.
And it was weird because
I need a nightstand for my dream room or something.
That's right. And you would be like, you do 3D and say somebody else did programming and I did graphic design. We come together and make a couch.
You make the texture for it. I could make the I love Blender. It's so good.
It was so clear, but back then, like more than a decade ago, it was so close to reality. Like, some of the games now are still not there where it was a decade ago.
Yeah.
Because they controlled the polygons into it, or the prims. There was a certain level of polygons allowed per area, so it didn't oversaturate a computer.
Yeah, they've added so much stuff to it. I mean, Blender's been around for what, like 20 years or so?
Yep.
And I've heard from people that have been into Blender for that long that they have literally rebuilt it from scratch like 4 or 5 different times, and they've had to relearn it a couple times because they've changed so much in the program. I love it. It's amazing. And whenever I get to where I can spend a little money, I'm definitely sending them a tidy donation.
Well, I think they deserve it. I agree with you, and I like when people do that because we complain about Adobe not milking us dry and stuff. So I think when you have a program like that, it's nice to give something back. They're not asking for what the big ones are, but they do deserve something if you're using it all the time. I think that's really respect for keeping it going.
Yeah, I always noticed that Adobe never really made a 3D creating thing. They didn't. They bought Audition.
Yes.
I used a program back in the day called Cool Edit Pro.
Yes.
And they bought that out from Sonic Foundry, refaced it, and then changed its name to Adobe Audition. And I've used it. It's all right. It's a good program, but I still have my purchased copy of Cool Edit Pro from like 20 years ago.
And it's still doing the job.
It does everything I need it to do. I do all of my audio editing in FL Studio. because that's where all the effects and stuff are done. But if I needed to actually do waveform editing on something to be able to, select zero crossings and go in there to each individual hertz and change stuff, it's Cool Edit. And it's the same program I've used since Windows 98, and it's perfect. It does everything it's ever needed to do.
I agree. Sometimes there's a rush to the newest thing, best thing, but I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes when it's working,
That's why I
it's
still
working.
use CS6 Adobe Illustrator, because the new ones, every time they upgrade them, they get slower. Adobe Animate, they keep adding neat stuff to it, but every update that comes out for Flash Animate, the program takes an extra 5 seconds to load.
Right.
I remember when I had Macromedia Flash, it was 50 megabytes. I could fit it on a CD, and you double click or hit enter on the EXE, splash, loaded. It's just there, it's done, and it takes like 2 seconds to save your project, no matter how big it is. And now they force compression on your projects, because in Illustrator you can go, I want to save this uncompressed, so the Illustrator file will be huge, but it loads in 2 seconds as opposed to 20 seconds
Right.
if I save it compressed. I don't care about hard drive space. I want to be able to save uncompressed files so I can load them, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
And they took that feature out of Adobe Animate. Now it's force compressed. Oh, look at all the space you saved, smaller files. But it's like, yeah, but I wasn't concerned about the space. I
Yeah.
want to not wait a minute and a half for this big scene of animation I have to load in.
Especially
So,
for what you do.
Stuff with Adobe, and then like the keep paying thing.
Yeah.
But it's still really expensive.
I
It's almost $100 a month for me, just for all the licenses that I pay for.
I could not agree with you anymore on that one. I feel it's taken the functionality out of it. I really, really do. I hate to say it, but
I don't mind. I would rather pay, like, find a version of the program that works and has no problems, no glitching that
yes,
that needs to be fixed, and pay them like $700 for it, and just have that and
exactly.
use it. And like, oh, if I find something that's like, well, deal with it, and I don't have to keep paying $100 a month every month. It's not really a matter of affording. It's just I have this giant list of things I have to go through and manually pay every month, and every time I get a new program, it's a new company, so a new bill I've got to add, and another bill I've got to pay at the end of the month, and it's just I've already got so many. There's like 20 things now that I have to go through, and I'm like $3 here, $5 here. But I'm legit, so they can't come and put me
Yes.
in pirate jail.
That's the big part of it. You just said
Yeah.
right there.
Ease of mind.
Ease of mind, exactly. Especially if you're using it all
Peace
the
of
time.
mind. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, peace of mind. It's like car insurance. It's
Yeah.
like
It's an Allstate
piracy
commercial.
arrest insurance.
Back to the car
Peace of
salesman.
mind.
Yes, that's right. Oh, that is too rich. You always have an answer to it. You're very witty. I like that.
Well, it's just stuff I've dealt with for so many years. It's how you survive.
It
You have
shapes
to make comedy out of things like that.
Yeah, it defines. That's like, we were talking a while ago, but if you're black, white, gay, straight, what all this stuff, that to me, what you're doing there more defines you as a person than anything else. Is you can see in the way you answer things is a testament to what you've gone through, how you deal with it, and that's just my opinion from listening.
That's
to
how
it.
everybody should be. Everybody should be upfront and authentic about stuff.
Yep.
That's why I would be a horrible interviewee for college or for a job that requires a resume. My friends keep telling me, it's like, you have got to sell yourself up. You've got to fluff it a little bit and lie a little bit on your resume and add a couple years here and there. Little things like I put, I've been using Illustrator for 5 years, but I put on there 7 years, because the 5 years I've been using Illustrator, I've been using it 60, 70 hours a week,
Yes.
every week. So it's like, look, I'm going to add a couple years, but please understand, usually people are like, oh, I have to, 10 years experience when I use it occasionally.
Yeah.
And the 3 hours a day sometimes. No, I literally use Adobe Illustrator 50 to 60 hours a week, every week for 3 or 4 years now. And then a couple years learning it before that. And so I personally think that I have the right to fluff that number a little bit.
Definitely.
Things like that, but just like lying, like, oh, I worked charity thing for 30 years, but the person who ran it is dead now, so you have to take my word on. No, none of that stuff.
We have
But I don't like overselling.
We have one of our artists that actually did a video for us, Cheers video. He's I forget exactly where he lives, but he was asking if you'll be in Bangor this spring.
I could be. Bangor's like a little over an hour and a half from here. It's the nearest big town. Like if I wanted to go to a mall or a Best Buy or something like that, I have to drive to Bangor.
When we were on the live stream with Doug, and I said about Bangor, about Dysart's truck stop, and after I looked in the comments, and one of them said, "God, everybody now eating at Dysart," so we're surprised I brought it up.
And there's a Bangor Comic Con going on in the spring. That's what the question was
okay,
about.
I missed that part. So.
Yeah.
If I'm around, if I'm not out sailing somewhere or driving to some other thing, yeah, I'd love to go. If any kind of Comic Con that's within 2 hours, yeah, I'm going to try my best to go to it.
Nice. That's and we missed it a while ago, like when you were talking about how you guys met, you and Doug. So it was through your Discord, and then we kind of got that was our fault. We got talking.
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Discord.
it was just Reagan. I was talking to Reagan about how much I liked Sock Baby, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm friends with Doug. If you want to meet him, he'd probably love to have you on his podcast show." I was like, "He has a podcast show?" He's like, "Yeah, he just kind of started it a month ago,"
That's
and then that
cool.
was it. And he introduced me that first time. Did that big long interview, and then I now hop on there like every 3 or 4 days, just kind of as a semi-regular.
Yeah, I see that. I like that.
I think you were asking about Greg.
Oh my God, did I say that's where I was losing it? I said Doug. I meant to say Greg.
Oh yeah. We were
I'm
just
sorry.
Doug is always
no,
on
it's
his
fine.
mind.
Yeah, he was on same thing. He was I
I'm
was on
sorry.
Discord, and he'd been watching my streams for a while, and he got back into drawing and making comics and stuff because he'd been on there watching all the art and stuff, and hadn't drawn in a long time, and got back into it, and we just started talking. I got on Adobe Illustrator and started showing him how to do this and that and other, because he was still looking for which program to be his rock for drawing his comic book pages, and we just hit it off. He was just really nice. We just kept talking uh and just kept talking and talking, and then we went to MagFest together. MagFest is a music and games festival. It's like video games and video game music festival, kind of like PAX but smaller.
Okay.
And that was the first time we hung out in real life, got to know each other a little bit, and hang out. It was me, him, and another one of my friends, one who's actually voicing Fox's mom.
Oh, really?
She came out, and we all hung out, and it was one of the most fun times I've ever had at a convention. If you ever have a chance to go to MagFest, and like that year it was Castlevania themed, so all the badges had like the green and blood and the Castlevania font on it and everything. This one coming up in January is Star Fox themed. Like it's all parodied of Star Fox, but like all the badges and everything have all the fonts are like the Star Fox 64 font, and they have the Star Cats or the Sun Cats instead of Star Fox. So it's like a parody thing, but it's very blatantly, obviously Star Fox themed. So I looked at that and I was like, I'm legally required to go this year. The last one I went to, they paid for me to come. They paid for me a night at the hotel, and they previewed my first episode in the animated short section. I was like, hey, if you can come and you don't mind us showing your cartoon here, you'll get a free your badge for the weekend's paid for. You get guest status, and you get a free room. So I was like, yeah, I guess I have to.
Can't argue with those.
Don't twist my rubber
No,
arm.
I know. They're really trying to discourage you from going.
We have an input from Greg. He said, I asked about Adobe Illustrator, and you invited me to Discord to do tutorial.
Yeah.
We had a surprising amount of stuff in common. I wanted to animate, but ended up in it. You looked at it, but ended up an animator.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for the other side of the story.
And she's laughing because we have a running joke.
He's saying IT, by the way. He ended up in IT. I looked at IT. IT was the original thing that I was going into, and then I ended up as an animator.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, like, because that's what he does for a living now. He's an IT
information
technology,
yeah.
And he does that. That's his main job. He works at Weight Watchers on the weekends.
Oh my God.
As a Weight Watchers consultant.
Oh, okay.
He's won all these awards. He's also a member. He lost like several hundred pounds.
Really?
Wow.
Congratulations.
Or like 100 pounds, 150 pounds. I don't remember how much, but he used to be big, and then he got skinny, and then he went around on a tour and modeled for all their posters and everything. It was really cool.
Wow. Congratulations.
So yeah, like that's his weekend job. His week job is doing IT stuff for like Bell Atlantic and things like that. And
awesome.
And he works and he invests, and his back burner thing, or his passive employment, I guess, unless he's got to cover a shift for somebody as the comic book store.
That's awesome. That is so.
He's very busy and successful.
We have a running joke here because Xenia always loves asking about that stuff. So now I try to slide one in now and then before she gets a chance. So if you see me laughing at her, it's because I beat her to the punch. I think it's hilarious.
I love romantic stories and stuff.
Yes.
We had this guy that he was like a bushcrafter, mountain bushcrafter, and I got to tell him about his romantic gestures to his wife on his birthday and stuff.
Oh,
and he was like a really like rough and tumble, big beard and big guy.
Yeah,
and talking about, So I just love doing that. That's why.
He lived in California, and his wife was from Maine.
Yeah.
There was some connection there.
Yeah.
And she turned 40 and she was kind of having trouble going into her 40s. So he invited 40 friends. He had 40 this, 40 that, and he had 40 lobster flown. And they don't have a lot of money, but he'd been saving up and flew 40 lobster in from Maine, 40 this, 40 that, all of her favorite things to help her turn 40.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That probably was not very cheap.
No.
No. Oh, man.
No. So that's why. But that's what I love about, that's once again why I love doing this. That's what I fell in love with these interviews, was getting to know people and then finding out all these interesting things about them. There's everybody has a story. And they're interesting what they do on their YouTube channel or whatever it is they do. Mm-hmm. But there's so much more to a person, and it's nice to talk about what they do, but also get to know them better. I feel it builds better communities. People follow each other, more committed to each other. And Ortero Studios, the one that asked you about Comic-Con in Bangor, he's going to be a guest there.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, I will definitely try to go. Greg, I assume you're watching now. Clear out your book for... Do you know what day the Comic-Con's on? I'm sure I could Google it, but...
Yeah, maybe, Ortero, you could post it for us?
Yeah, please do. And congratulations, by the way.
Yes.
He's working on his book too. I don't know how
he was a guest of ours last our first season. We had him on.
Yeah.
Oh, is he doing a comic book?
Yeah, he was working at the same time. I don't know how far it is.
I've told him to go and check out at Doug's, but I know he's so busy right now. But he definitely wants to try to get in over more once he gets things. This busy time of year and the kids and everything. So, but I definitely told him to go and hang out. Get to know everybody there. I could just show you. Said you can see the feed too, right? When our live stream, you can see it. Whether you have the page open where it's playing.
Yeah. It's up right now in the chat and everything. Yeah.
Here, I'll show you. This is just a little tiny bit. Everybody said our chat room's like Cheers as we built it up, where everybody knows your name. I can't play the music because we'll have to do proper.
I can play the Cheers theme on piano right now if you want me to.
Sure.
Wow, sure. Go ahead.
While you read everything, let's see. Yeah. Let's see if I can still do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm gonna put it back to when you start. Hang on one sec.
All right, go for it.
All right.
Oh, did you want me to sing, or I thought you were going to tell something?
Oh, please do. We were just stunned.
We were just looking. They can't see us. We were just staring at each other.
To get away. Sometimes you've got to go where everybody knows your name.
This is so cool.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
And they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
Love it. I love it.
Wow.
That was so amazing. That was so amazing.
It's a lot better if you're actually in a bar and everyone's already drunk.
That was crazy. Good. Wow.
And that's Ortero Studios. He drew this. He put our faces into the original photo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I animated the logo in After Effects and we put it together. So.
Yeah, there it is.
It was something fun to do to say thank you. We put all the people from our first season of our live stream. See, we put their names and then we took screenshots.
That's cool.
And it was once again.
Whoa, that's actually really well done. The gleam and everything.
Thank you.
That looks straight legit.
Yeah, I worked on it for about 15 hours. I'm kind of a perfectionist once I get going.
No, that looked like that looked like the exact title.
And
You
then
nailed it.
Then I took a shot I had from Montreal and did the kind of opening and animated it.
No, I did. I love Cheers. Cheers is one of my favorite things.
It is. It's a
on the
fun
show.
show, and that's what everybody was saying our live streams were like. So let's not make something to say thank you to everybody. So that's what we did, and he helped us out. He did the graphics. So yeah, I like that feeling. That's what I was most proud of our live stream was becoming, was that community. I keep saying it all the time.
Absolutely. I don't know. I get nervous sometimes going for too long with everybody watching me, but at the same time, if all I did was work on it without anybody watching me, it would get really boring. I don't think I'd be able to focus as much if I didn't have an active community that I could talk to.
Well, I got to tell you, you've been so interesting tonight, and I don't even know where to begin to thank you for sharing your time.
Oh,
with
no,
us.
no, don't even worry about it. Just show me a good time if we ever get up there to Montreal.
Done,
Do
and
some
done.
of that smoked meat poutine.
Oh,
I'm not a foodie except for stuff about poutine. I could go on for hours about the different types that I like. I love it.
That's Xenia's favorite thing she found here, and I don't eat poutine.
Right on, right on.
doesn't like
I'm
it.
right there with
I
you.
love it. We have here a place that is called like 101 Putin, and it's like oh my god, yes, I love it. I could eat it every day. I won't, but it's great.
You shouldn't. No one should. It's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
But I think someone said it is technically a salad. If you're really loose with your definitions.
Yeah. That would be one way. I've never heard of it.
The
That would work.
potatoes count as a vegetable.
Yes, I think a lot of you just won a lot of Quebecers' hearts by saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. The Instagram photo of the poutine, and it says enjoying a fresh root vegetable salad with beef vinaigrette and cheese croutons.
Wow, never. That's
Yeah, wow.
You found a whole new way to
My
market
favorite
it.
one has coleslaw and chicken and peas on it and a whole bunch of stuff.
They call it the
Yeah,
Galley
I like the Thanksgiving ones with the turkey stuffing and cranberry sauce. Brits. I don't know if you've ever heard of the restaurant Brits. I think that might just be a New Brunswick thing, but they had a Thanksgiving poutine that was, oh man, I ate it, and then it was at the reception thing for a wedding, and I just remember sitting there just like. After I ate it, and Greg's like, "Was it good?" And then I gave him some, and then he's sitting there next to me, and we're both just like, "Oh, I need to go home and go to sleep."
That's what it should do. It's heavy food. It's warm. It's typical Quebec food for cold days. It will get you through it.
I love it. I love it. It's great. Doesn't the name literally just mean mess?
Yes, it does.
I think that's where the term came from. The guy just called it that because it was just a mess of fries and gravy and cheese curds, but I love it. You can't do it with shredded mozzarella. I'll go to places and they're like, "Oh, and I was like, yes, I didn't know you had it," and they just bring me out fries with shredded mozzarella, and I'm just like, if it doesn't squeak, I don't want it. Send it back.
It has to be salted cheese. That's the original salted curds.
Yeah,
that's right. Doug sent a message, by the way. He was watching through tonight, and he was enjoying the conversation and that. So I hope we can.
Wait! I have questions.
Yes, that's right.
Questions.
Yes,
Don't let him go anywhere yet. My goodness, we can't.
No, and like I said, right when I get off here with you guys, I'm just gonna get back to work on my stream.
That's
so
why
no rush.
Yeah, we're not gonna keep you long, but I have to.
No rush at all.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so let me see here. Okay, obviously, there is a question about season 1. When the season 1 will be completed? Is there going to be season 2?
I don't know exactly what season 1 is going to be. Episode 2, it's going to get done when it gets done. If I had to make an estimate, I don't think it'll take a year to finish it where it is now, but somewhere within a year, it'll be done for sure. It's just, I have 10 or 15 minutes of animation done, and I have about 7 or 8 minutes of animation left to do. It's going a lot faster now that I'm doing Blender. But as far as season 1 and what season 1 entails, I don't think I'm going to do seasons of a Fox in Space. I think I'm just going to do it as continuous little 5-minute episodes.
Yeah, like
this
series.
This is going to be like 25 minutes long, but after I'm done with this one, I'm going to go back to shorter episodes so I can get more stuff out and people won't have to wait as long. They'll be shorter, but they'll be completed works in quicker installments. And I think instead of doing different seasons or having a season, I'm just going to keep doing that and keep telling different stories with different little episodes.
What is your intent with it after, let's say, you do finish that?
To tell the story, just get the story told and give it some closure and leave it off on a good note where people are like, that's perfect. It quit when it should have. It didn't go on too long to where it's just, a sitcom with stupid memes and all that garbage. I want it to tell the story, to be its own self-contained thing and be done with. Maybe 10 more episodes, maybe 20 more episodes, or maybe 3 or 4. But once the story gets told and I'm done with it and I've told the story that I want to tell, then I want to go over to my own cartoon project called The Violence. It's another thing about animal people in like a pseudo 80s kind of fictitious country. And there's a military element, and there's a mafia element and a town element, and there are all these different groups of animal people in this country that are trying to coexist. Draw, like Game of Thrones, Sopranos
Sopranos, love
meets
Sopranos.
Generation Kill meets, I want it to be kind of like an HBO show. My goal in life is to get an animated series on HBO. Or by the time I get around to it, they'll probably just be a streaming only service, and cable TV will finally be dead. But that's my goal. My ultimate goal for cartoon stuff in life is to get a show on HBO. I don't care. Adult Swim, I could fart on a piece of bubble gum and it could get on Adult Swim and people would love it, just because it's so weird. Yeah, this needs to be. Yeah, everybody always tells me, this needs to be on Adult Swim, and that's cool, and it would. I could see my cartoon being on there, but that's not the demographic I'm going for with the writing. If all I did was goofy, funny memes and video game stoner humor, then some of my favorite shows in the entire world were on Adult Swim, and that's how I found out about a lot of cool people. But for what I want to do, I'm aiming more toward HBO, Netflix, more, Netflix is probably more attainable, but HBO is what I'm aiming for. So if I aim at the stars and hit the moon, at least I'm getting somewhere. But that's like years and years down the road. I don't think I'm quite there yet. I'm still learning and still getting a hang of all the programs I'm using, but I'll eventually get there. I think I will. And if I don't, if all I do for the rest of my life is take money on Patreon and keep streaming and doing my own Fox and Space cartoons and stuff, and that's all I ever get as far as success, I'm happy with that. But I'm going to try for more.
I think you are going to get there faster than you think. And then my question follow-up after would be, are you not scared of losing the control of creativity over your work? Because if you get on
that is the one deciding factor. Because I've had people, I have friends who work for big video game companies and big animators and stuff that tell me, hey, I know the people who animate this famous 1 million subscriber cartoon thing on YouTube, and I can get you a job working for them. If you name it, it's yours. I can get you in tomorrow. And I tell them, I was like, I really appreciate that, dude, but people talk about, I want to animate and work hard and get good and get in the industry so I can go animate for Disney and spend the rest of my life drawing other people's creations and getting in trouble if I draw them outside of work on a napkin or something. Disney has a lot of strict rules, but I don't mean to hate on Disney, but
but
bottom line, I want to do my own thing.
Yes.
Someone comes to me and says, hey, we'll produce your cartoon and give you a team of animators, but this guy, Bob McHarvey over here, is going to be the one writing the story and you have to run everything by him. I wouldn't do it. They give me $1 million. I wouldn't do it.
Right. Because your heart's not into it.
Yeah. Or maybe, if they gave me a huge amount of money, and it was for just a couple years, I would probably begrudgingly do it and take the money and then go spend all that money bettering my project. Yes. But basically, like as a career thing, somebody offered me working on someone else's thing in betweening someone else's cartoon that I have nothing to do with the writer team. No, I have zero interest in that. I've had a dozen chances at least by friends of mine in the industry telling me like, oh, hey, well, I could probably get you in here. Like, I know the guy that's the lead animator for this. I can get you in as an in-betweener and get you some industry experience. It's like, my resume is going to be my cartoon.
Yeah.
Like if I ever go to work at an animation place and they're like, okay, what's your references in your resume? I'm just going to give them a disc that has my cartoon on it. Be like, I did 99.9% of the work on this. Watch it, and this is what I use. Here's a piece of paper with everything written for a resume, but the disc or thumb drive with my cartoon on it, that's going to be the meat of it, really.
Well, that's how it should be. The
Yeah.
work should speak louder than anything
Yeah.
else. Who
It's
cares
like, oh,
about?
my rich doctor lawyer parents paid $300,000 for me to go to School of the Arts and Animation in this place. Here's my piece of paper that says that I got all A's, or here's a thing that I worked on thousands and thousands, literally thousands and thousands of hours by myself for 99.9% of it, that I did the work of my own discipline and my own keeping and ruling and everything. So
I gotta
I
s-
don't know.
I gotta say a little message here. This is something I don't say too often, but we've had a lot of weird things with the servers lately. I know a lot of
The
you guys.
buffer thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
this
yeah, I
one
heard
goes.
about that.
But they're even when you have live streams, they can even kick people that just joined you, like subscribe to you. They'll automatically delete you from it. So if you hit our subscribe button tonight, please just check at some point that we're still subscribed to you. And so because it does that, the last 2 weeks has been a lot of glitches. And if you do subscribe to us, please leave us a comment in one of the videos so we can check you out as well after the live stream. Sorry, I meant to say
Yeah.
that a while ago.
Smash that
yeah.
F5 key.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of that lately. I just checked, for instance, because I always have all my analytics running. We went up from 6160 all the way to 6180, and we dropped all the way back to 6161, and now we're back to 6166. Like, that's how bizarre a live stream can go.
What is that a count of?
That's for just subscribers that joined us since we
Said
started the
somebody
live
with
stream.
100K subscribers.
Yeah, exactly. I know what I'm talking.
We're like we're counting each unit, which you probably
No,
don't even see in the analytics.
We started noticing that in live stream, so now we're monitoring our analytics to see how it's playing, how many times people get buffered.
Yeah.
And it even does it now with subscribers. It literally will take away 20 subscribers for you just for going on a live, like starting a live stream. You can get penalized. So a lot of people subscribe that night. They don't find you for a couple more weeks because they didn't know YouTube took you right back off.
Yeah. I streamed a bunch of. I have the thing set on YouTube where it sets your stream as unlisted the moment
Yes.
that it's done, so you can make changes and no, it doesn't get broadcasted. I did that for about 30 of my streams and didn't make them public, because usually I'll go through and make them public the next day, and I did it for 30 of them, and I selected all 30 of them and set them as published, which sent 30 something notifications to every one of my subscribers. I lost like 3,000 subscribers that night. People
3,000?
people telling me to hang myself in a closet and to die because they had to move their thumb 3 times on their phone screen.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they're just
God.
like, you just sent my phone 30 notifications, Fred. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, I lost like several thousand subscribers that night. Got death threats and people telling me to rot in hell and all. Like, I can't imagine like how stressful it had to be to like flick their thumb 30 times on their phone.
People can be so dramatic on here sometimes.
It's all like 14-year-old YouTubers with cell phones,
Yes.
entitled brats. Anytime that you guys, you'll get people, and please understand, I'm just saying this. You're going to get people that are going to get on here and say, you suck, you're ugly, you're stupid, you need to hang yourself and die and get in a car wreck and burn in a fire. And like all these people just assume that they're all 13 and they're on YouTube. And like that's literally what they are. They're usually 13-year-olds or they're 20 something and they have serious issues. Never let that get you down. Even before YouTube existed, when I did all my funny videos and stuff, people would find my mom's cell phone number and call my mom and tell her like horrible, disgusting, awful things.
It's unreal.
And like doxing and stuff back then probably wasn't as bad as it is now, but yeah, like you will get people like that. I have a friend whose son is looking into becoming a famous YouTuber, like a YouTube, blogger guy. And I told him, I was like, well, when he gets a little bit older, because he's, like 10 or 11 right now, I was like, wait till he gets about 13 or 14. And I would like to sit down and talk to him and be like, hey, you probably heard a lot of these words before, but if you get on YouTube and you're wanting to, whatever, I'll show you, how you can, run your channel and what kind of stuff to do. But mainly I want to talk to his son about like the horrible, creepy, awful, disgusting people that he is 100% guaranteed going to be dealing with. And that's everybody, you know, like PewDiePie and JonTron and those types. I can't imagine. They must have people on staff.
Oh yeah,
They've got to have people on staff that handle that stuff. I couldn't imagine having that many watchers or followers on my thing and opening my email every day.
I can't mention the channel, but I'll give you an idea how bad it got. There's a channel with we'll say 400 subscribers, another one with 800. So they're not exactly rocking the. Neither are we at 400. I mean, we don't
right. Starters
that went and called social youth protection services about their children and had them taken away temporarily. And
because someone called in a fake thing or something. Yeah.
And the family that had their children taken away turned on their camera and did a live stream while their kids were being taken away from them to show everybody how bad this other channel was.
Yeah,
it's mind-boggling how people go into. It's like the gold rush, and everybody's lost any ambition. You know, it's all fair game. Everything's justified.
Yeah, everybody wants to be a video game critic or a let's player.
Yeah.
Like they found out, like, oh, there are people out there that actually get paid millions of dollars to sit on their rear end and scream at a video game.
Yeah.
Oh, why? What am I doing in college?
I'm in.
I feel like people are like, oh, what are you in college for? Like, oh, I'm going to be a YouTube video game critic, and it's just like. All right, maybe that would have been a thing to do like 8 years ago to get started before it became the thing that literally it's the new garage band.
Yes.
I want to start a band in my garage and we're going to get famous. It's the new garage band thing. I want to be a YouTube video game commentator and play video games. And I'm going to get famous for really, really playing video games good. Yeah. And like the people they don't get it. The people who play the video games that have like millions of subscribers, they aren't even that good at the video game half the time. It's more just the person who's playing the video.
It's the personality that's selling, not the game. It really is.
Game Grumps and Vine Sauce and like those groups of people. Like sometimes they'll play broken video games that there is no way to win them, and it's just them sitting there going like and their interactions with their community and stuff like that. It really makes the videos. I can't just someone sit there like, oh hey, thanks for donation. Oh, I died. Oh, okay, I died again. Oh, this game. Well, anyway, and then you just hear them like their breath sailing over their soft palate for the next 20 minutes, and I don't know. They just kind of some of those people. It's not a good thing to do because it's like when this fad obviously either gets mitigated down between just like the famous networks of people, and it's not just something anybody can jump on and beg for money on Twitch anymore. You got to have some other ability. You got to be funny, or you got to you got to have some other talent than just sitting there playing video games asking for money, because that's not going to work.
It's 100%, and it's got to be you. It's so much in the personality. Like we always say, like Xenia and I, we're a husband and wife couple. She's from we have all these characters that make us us. Only us can be us. Same as you and your story. Only you can be Mathew. You can't fake what's not there. You can't be what you're not. You can only be you, and if that's palatable to people, they'll accept it, and you can pretty much use it. It's the personality that wins people over. That's what they bond with.
It really is, and I'm not saying it's hopeless if you want to do the video game Twitch thing for a living. It's just you've got to have something going. If you go in there and study all of their analytics and everything, that's only part of the formula. A big chunk of the formula that a lot of people don't understand is that you have to be a certain personality. If you're boring and socially awkward and don't have a good microphone and you're just sitting there like, oh, okay, so I'll play this video game or something, I guess, and you don't interact with anybody, and you're not even funny, and you're just literally playing a video game like, oh, I died, okay. Wasn't that funny? Smash that like button if you would have died there. If you would have died at that part of the level, you have to hit subscribe. It's the rules. Yeah, no, I've said it, and sometimes when I get really drunk and I want to feel better about myself, I'll go on Twitch and just click on a random one, a famous one, a busy one, a slow one. It doesn't matter, but usually it's always some kid that's just like, oh, I died. Oh, why? Oh man. Or yeah, I don't know. I just
I love it.
I think I'm on the verge of being whatever generation came before my year range, because I act like an old man a lot of the time.
Well, that's what gets us through life. I think we all have some of that in us, you know.
It's part of the process. Is it like the newer, younger generation? I'm sorry. I know it's a natural thing to always be like, oh, well, they don't know how it is, and everything's stupid now. But honestly, yeah, with all the memes and stuff, there is a very high speed, very high visibility, stupid train.
There's a
flying through
real
the
new
race right
appreciation
now.
for the lowest common denominator. It's very celebrated very easily now.
That's like that's what I call it too. Like the LCD, like the lowest common denominator YouTube channels, the ones that have like 30 million viewers, and they always start out with, "What's up, YouTube? This is Monkey Buttfinger 69. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe and ring that mother bell." And you know, every single video that you go on YouTube, and they've got the colorful fake plants and everything behind them.
Yeah.
What's up? Okay, so yesterday I saw this video, and it's just I can't. It's like like a marionette doll. You know, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. That's the thing, like Johnny Cab from Total Recall. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You ever see Total Recall? You remember that you're in a Johnny Cab.
My God.
He's like, where would you like to go? Shit. I'm not familiar with that location. Could you try again? Yeah, like I have a clip of that, and I want to put that at the end of all my videos where he's burning, and it's like, hope you enjoyed the ride.
Yes.
And I just want to dub that over. Don't forget to subscribe. And then I might get a content claim on that, though.
I love it.
I do that so bad.
Oh, I know Mars would love that one. You've won, Mars.
Oh my God.
He changed his name to Marky Twerky Jones, not knowing he couldn't change it back right away. But anyways,
yeah, you only get to change it once every, or you get to change it like 3 times every 90 days or some crap like that.
But I think you made
when YouTube wouldn't give me my check mark, I changed the name of my channel to A Fox in Space, then in brackets the word check mark.
Yes, I see.
After it, I did that for like 3 or 4 days, and I was like, they might get mad at me for that. I'm going to go ahead and change.
I think that's the first time I seen you on Doug's when you did that.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm pretty sure because I remember that, and that was hilarious. Like, I'd never seen anybody pull that one off.
That was my protest.
Well, yeah, but that's part of your humor right there. That's part of your outlook. That's such a thing, a you thing, I would call it. You know.
But of course, then I get a bunch of emails and messages like, "Oh, Fred, I think they gave you your check mark, but I think they messed it up because it just says the word check mark." And I'm just like, man,
it's all good.
I do jokes anymore. It's just some people, like, you set up a joke, and you're just so horribly blatantly obvious in your sarcasm, and they're like, "Oh, but are you being serious?" There's so many more times I need a whoosh sound, just a that I can hit a button whenever I tell a joke, and someone's like, "But why is a chicken even going across the road? I don't get it." Like there's a lot of people that come in and you'll joke, and you tell the joke, and it's literally that's their reasoning is like, "But why is there even a chicken on the road?" Like, you explain more to me. It's like, never mind, dude.
Oh, that is so awesome. I had Mars, where I met him, is this Canadian drone network, and they're lovely people. Roger, he's an older guy, but he was getting into doing live streams, and he reads everything literally. So I used to write stuff just to hear him say it. And I'd always ask him questions like, "So Roger, it's the best thing you would recommend is to fly drones while intoxicated and bad weather only, right, in city areas." And he would read it out. He'd be like,
"Sounds like a good time."
Yeah, exactly. I think it would be amazing. But he would read it out so seriously. He'd be like, "Well, no, no, we don't recommend that here." I would do it just for the simple purpose.
I feel that is a joke, but anyway.
And he would read it. He's good about it, I'm told. I love it. I think we've got a bit of the same humor sometimes, you and I.
You're right on.
Oh man, this has
Absolutely.
been so much fun tonight.
Absolutely. I've had a great time. I'm glad y'all had me on here. We'll have to do this again sometime or just
Oh
hang out
my
on
God,
Doug's
yes.
And we
stream.
didn't even cover everything, so you were worried about things to talk about.
Yes.
You know?
We could talk for hours more.
And I hope
That was
Anytime
amazing.
y'all want an extra guest on here or something, I don't mind because, like I said, I'm just gonna be sitting here animating anyway.
I'd love to, and I'd love to sit down and talk to you about those panels because I'd like to do one with the comics and then spread them out a bit, but then also one maybe on
For sure.
animation as well.
Absolutely.
So, if you would help me with that, I'd love to feature more people from your community and that. So, and
For
I hope
sure.
you enjoyed your time with us tonight. I hope we treated you well, and
Absolutely. I had a great time.
you're awesome. You're really a pleasure to talk to.
Thank you so much.
And y'all as well. Thank y'all for having me on here.
I hope we'll keep in touch.
Yeah. Just anytime you want to get a hold of me, just message me on Twitter or something. Like I said, for some reason I have to hit refresh for all of my instant messages to come through. I'm gonna try uninstalling and reinstalling Chrome and see if that fixes it because it works on my phone. I just don't like having Twitter on my phone because I got a virus the last time I had it on my phone.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's not good.
yeah. But anytime you have questions about immigration and all that,
Yep.
free to
Yeah.
ask us
Like
too.
we would like to touch base on that a little bit if we ever get you, me, and Greg in a call.
Oh,
Anytime.
definitely.
I
Anytime.
really would. I think that y'all should have him on there. He can tell you all a lot about the comic book business, like literally from a businessman's stand.
No, I would
Oh,
like to
definitely.
do.
We'd love to have him.
He's going to be on. We're definitely going to get
For
that.
sure.
working,
Penciling it in.
Yes, and I hope you don't mind if I put you in mind with Ortero Studios, the guy that's going to be in Bangor.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Okay, so I'll just pass
Send me his stuff on Twitter, and I'll go follow him and check him out.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jay. It's been such a pleasure.
Thanks for having me. It's been awesome.
You take care. Have a great night.
You
Bye.
too. Take it easy.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Oh my, yeah, we could have continued talking for hours
he's-
more.
yeah.
It was, I don't know what he was afraid of
Yes,
not being able
no.
to talk stories because time flew by, and I'm sure it could just continue on and on and on. And I'm sorry, guys, if I didn't get to all of the questions.
Yes,
We'll
we
sure
gotta have him back
keep them
on.
on. We're gonna have him back on. And if you want to directly ask him questions, you can always join his YouTube and Twitch every day and Discord.
I mean, the guy is just so amazing. Like, he's that type of person that this is a chat. This is exactly what we love to do here. It's not we don't have a list of questions. We like to keep it just like we're sitting around having a talk. And man, is he ever awesome. He's such a humble being times three, the Wild Challenger 101 said. Exactly. And everybody that's new here tonight, I can't thank you guys enough for coming in and seeing what we do. Once again, if you can just double check if you did hit the subscribe button to check. We'd love to have you guys back and let you meet more of our guests. There's all kinds of... Oh, I can't wait until next time. I love that.
Well, that's
Oh,
awesome.
thank you.
Our schedule is available in about section, by the way,
Oh,
guys, that are
thank you,
new.
Camel Clone.
We stream 6 times a week from Sunday till Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern every day, except for Thursday, which is tomorrow, at 1 p.m. Eastern. And we have guests, we have games, we have Tuesday Tech Talk, all amazing content for you guys designed to learn about each other, get a more closer look of each other and connect each other as well. Always welcome, always drama-free,
Yes.
and welcoming community right here waiting for you anytime.
And then on the other side, you have Mars, from our, the drone community, and there's been people from all different communities coming in, and I hope you guys are getting to meet them as well. And I love that. That's my happiest time when I'll go 2 weeks down the road and see a live stream and maybe see some of you guys in theirs, or them in one of yours, or commenting on your videos. That's what's so cool about it. It's a neat thing. I really do. I love bringing people together and giving a chance. Not everybody will be everybody's cup of tea, but you never know until you try. So, I'm Fox the Fox. Can't wait for next time. It really means a lot, guys. It really does. We're very touched by it. And yes, just once again, if you can check, because I would love to have you guys come back and see more what we do. And if you can leave a comment on a video, if you have time, we'll definitely go check you out as well. Love to connect. I think we're going to be getting yeah, I'm not sure yet. I'll just be a sec. Because of sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so we're still live and about to finish, guys. And just wanted to remind you that tomorrow it's gonna be our spin of the wheel
Leva
and
Blanca,
shout
thank
out
you.
game night tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. So always welcome to shout out the game, spin the wheel, have your channel out there, have some reviews and tips and all of that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you sent it to us. That's awesome.
Fresh root vegetable salad.
I gotta
with
share that.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, you do.
I'll share that
you
right
do.
away. I'll just open the other window so I can share it proper. That is so cool. Yeah, that's gonna go far. You gotta keep that, hun. That is gonna go places around here.
Oh, yeah.
I really hope you guys can make it to Montreal. We'd love to have you guys here. It would be such an honor to hang around with you and that. You guys seem so fun and yeah, it's really cool. Let's see here. Do I have it on a full browser? There we go. Enjoy a fresh root vegetable salad with beef vinaigrette and cheese croutons. That's so funny. Oh, I gotta show that to my sister Jody. Is gonna love that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome. What a great way to sum it up. Oh, the trips. Yeah, the wheel is spinning tomorrow.
Oh, yes, it is, guys.
Yep.
And we are so excited and so can't wait. It's definitely going to be very, 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 very exciting. So you can join us.
Yes, definitely. And thank you guys so much for being here. Love the spinning wheel. So much fun. Oh, I hope you can make it tomorrow. We're definitely going to be spinning. And Matthew, it was our pleasure. You're an awesome guest. So gracious with your time. We had
Thank
a ball.
you. Yeah, thanks God for the clock.
Yes.
Otherwise, I think we would be going on and on and on if we wouldn't see the time.
Oh, it's not the last we're going to see of each
Oh,
other.
for
That's
sure, guys. And all the information is available down below in the description, where you can go and follow Matt, and you can go and check out the first episode of Fox in Space, as well as check out soundtrack, which, by the way, is all created by Matt as well.
Yes.
All the links are down below in description. Go check it out and join all the socials to see the updates on the second episode.
And the Wild Challenger 101, we had such a great time having you here. Thank you so much. Same to you, Camaro Clone. Really do appreciate it. Raymond Raccoon. I'm just going through the names. I know I'm going to miss some.
Space Odyssey.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to get him to Montreal Comic Con. Yeah,
Yes.
that would be amazing. Yeah. We were talking with Don Jameson about that too, which we want to get Don as well to Comic Con. So we have two.
Yeah, we got our work cut out for us, but we're up to the challenge. We're up
to the challenge, and thanks to you guys, we are growing, and therefore being able to have as guests so many more amazing creators for you. For your pleasure of entertainment, hopefully for your nights and evenings.
Sonny, thank you so much. You guys are so kind. I love every minute of this. Please do it again.
Oh,
Take
thank
care.
you so much.
We hope to see you guys really soon. And we have our
Pleasure is
game
ours.
tomorrow where you can meet channels. And Friday night, we have this really cool gamer, Ray Kit, really interesting guy from across the pond. Nice channel. So thank you guys each. Thank you. It is a beautiful city. It's the closest to getting to Europe without leaving North America. But you know what? You guys make this like a city, and we always have the expression it's 20-80. 20% us, 80% the chat. We build a house. You guys make it a home, and thank you to each and every one of you that returned tonight to keep the foundation going, and all the new people who just added more rooms to an already beautiful place. Thank you for making it even more beautiful. We really appreciate you guys' time. There's a billion channels on YouTube, and you guys chose to spend some of your time with us. We just can't thank you enough. With that said, we do something every night. It's voluntary if you guys want. If you want to meet another channel, we have one here. We put the link in. We have a hashtag. And if you guys want to come over with us and say hi, that would be really awesome. Get to meet some other people. Get to see what another channel looks like. It's completely voluntary, but you're more than welcome. Yeah, the other one's not up there. You didn't see it? Okay. Yeah, this one here. No, do that one. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, we've been talking, mentioned one of the people here before, and he happens to be live as well. So let's go and check him out, and you are going to hear what we have been talking about.
Yeah, you guys like interesting voices. We're going to send you over to a really interesting voice. It was part of our discussion tonight. So, and there's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Really cool guy. What we do is we put the link in, and if you can just use the hashtag that comes with it and paste it in, and just a new chance to check somebody out. That's right, a raid. It's always fun. Spreads the love around a little more. You know, you get to know more people. That's what YouTube's all about. Plus, please, once again, if you hit the subscribe button tonight, if you can just check back and make sure it's still. Thank you guys so much. I would love to meet you more and get to know you better. And what a great night.
That was so amazing.
Yep.
So amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There
Most
you go.
definitely.
There is a link. Hope you can go and check him out. You'll definitely wanna see how he looks like, and then you can come back and see our interview with him afterwards, because you'll definitely gonna
And
be
see
surprised.
if everything lined up. Yes.
Yes.
You can make bets on it. It could be like you can bet with your friends. So
So hope to see you there. We're gonna jump over there as well for just a little bit, and hope to see you back on our streams. Always welcome here.
Yes.
If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the way out, and like button if you haven't yet. And if you can ring the bell, that would be awesome, because that's how you know that we're on.
Oh, you gave us a shout on your disc. Oh, thank you, ADH. That production. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you so much. We just joined it as well, so I will be checking that out. Awesome. Thank you.
Brian's never apologize for that. You know how it goes. Real life comes first. We always say that. Anytime, whether it's 5 minutes, 2 hours, once a week, or every night, we really appreciate the support.
Like I said,
Much
Brian,
love
we
to you,
shot past the time. We just didn't see the time. Usually we're till around 10ish, but just a little bit shot past the time. But thank you so
But
much.
much love to you and JoJo. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I think you guys will really like Night Shame. I think a lot of you will get a pleasant surprise with him. Yeah, and he gets really excited when people go in. You're gonna love the voice.
Oh yeah.
And after tonight, like Matthew's voice is just awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. No. So, thank you guys so much. We're gonna put out the closing credit. You'll see what's up for the rest of the week. We'll leave that on for a couple of minutes. You're more than welcome to join us. It's always voluntary, but if you do, just click on the link and copy the hashtag from Pusa with Love. Paste it in. Maybe we'll get to meet some more interesting people. Hope you have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Cheers and keep creating. Love you all, and we'll see you really, really, really soon.